you talk about time machine, the Colonels have come out and fired up the fog machine.
Oh, yeah.
It's a powerhouse.
It is.
The toss has been held. Colonels did win the toss. Elected to defer. They'll be kicking to William Campbell. And again, that's the MO for the Colonels, is with the tosses that they've won this year.
Yeah, they've won a lot of them. Didn't win last week, and they took the football first and ended up taking it to the house on the first play of the game on the opening kickoff. So we'll see if we have that same kind of excitement here on this side. Obviously, Walker Allen and his kickoff coverage unit hope William Campbell doesn't run it back. But these kickoffs can be more and more exciting every chance we get here, Oscar. Here comes Walker Allen on the run-up. Colonels in the black jerseys with the orange numbers, white pants this week in the home game. Nice high hanging kick by Allen. It'll get fielded on the 5-yard line. Turn man for Campbell going straight up the middle. Now he's going to bounce it left a little bit. Couldn't get a whole lot of room there, and we'll see if we can identify that ball carrier. William Campbell got the silver jerseys. It was Tevin Bradley on the return there. They've got they got the white jerseys, Oscar, with the silver numbers. And if you remember any of those games last year, they're incredibly hard to identify the numbers. But we will do our absolute best and see what we can get out of it. And as far as identifying William Campbell players go,
Colonels open up in their traditional 3-5 defense. As you noted earlier, single wing for William Campbell.
Yeah, it's an unbalanced line. You get more linemen to the right of the formation than you do the left. Obviously, they can switch that from time to time, but mainly that's what these single wing teams do. Put 4 or 5 linemen over there to the right and just 2 to the left. Quarterback keeper. Pickup of about 1 for the Generals. It's an interesting offense, and it's an offense that they've been able to move the ball on people. It's not like the Generals have been totally helpless this year, despite the record of just 1 win.
A little bit of a bad snap. The quarterback had a little bit of an issue getting it corralled, but was able to turn it into small positive yards.
It's essentially a shotgun formation if you've never seen the single wing, and there's 2 backs. They're split. The center's pretty much right in the middle. Spinner play right here, and the quarterback will keep it. Looked like it might have been number 1, Tyrell Staten, on the run right there. We saw Staten last year. Remember him as being a very good player. Pickup of about 5. It'll bring up 3rd and 4 for the Generals. 10:57 remaining here in the first quarter. 0-0 score from Altavista High School.
Nice run by Staten. He was met by Donovan Montague, stood him up a little bit. He drove through Donovan a little bit and drug him down a couple yards downfield before Donovan had some help. So it brings up 3rd, and as you said, call it maybe 4.
Middle of the field from the 24-yard line. They're going to need to get to about the 28-yard line. Same formation again. It's essentially 2 tight ends and a wing back, 3 backs in the backfield, the 2 deep backs, and then an up back. They're going to snap it right to Staten. It looks like he's going to be short. I think it was Staten on the carry. It's actually number 40, James Clement, on the carry. He is short of the first down despite picking up 1 yard, so it looks like it's going to bring up a punting formation for William Campbell, Oscar.
William Campbell is running 3 or 4 players out, and they are setting up in a punt formation, Kyle.
Michi Malback going to go back deep to return the punt for the Altavista Colonels. He's still on the good side of the 50-yard line, now backing up, standing with his feet right on about the 50. Generals in a punt formation. They'll snap it from the right hash mark. They put the blocking back in motion momentarily. I think he just wanted to shift over to the other side. A little bit of a high snap, but they'll get it off. Decent kick. Malback's going to have to run it down towards the right sideline. Wants to pick it up off the bounce. Now he does. Got a head of steam going right sideline, and he'll just get shuffled out of bounds for a small gain, and the Colonels will have very good field position starting on the William Campbell 48-yard line.
Yeah, Michi, that ball was kicked over. Michi had to run about 20 yards to get to it, and debated whether he was going to pick it up or not, but Michi never to shy away from an opportunity to make a play. Had a good bounce, picked it up, and took off.
Yeah, when you're an explosive playmaker like he is, who can blame him? It was really a good directional punt by the kicker from William Campbell to try and keep it away from Michi, and Michi did have to run a long way to go scoop it up. Shotgun formation. Thornhill will hand it off to Destin Brown. Brown sifting his way through the interior of the Campbell defense. Going to pick up a solid gain, 4 or 5, I think, when they finally move the chains there, Oscar, and we talk about not shying away from excitement as far as Michi goes. Destin Brown never a guy that shies away from contact. Took a little bit there, but kept on rolling.
Yeah, pick up a 4. Got turned a little bit. Thought he was going to be able to break away, but nice job by tackling by the William Campbell defense.
9-11. remaining in the first quarter. Still no score. First time the Colonels have touched the ball. Far hash mark, 2nd and 6 on the way. Juan wants to throw. He'll swing it out to Navy Jones. Navy sidesteps the first defender. Got a good block from Darius Johnson. Navy Jones going to go left sideline. He's going to go to the house, Mr. Briggs. Wow, he made the first guy miss in the backfield. Darius provided a nice block, and Navy's speed just did the rest. Absolutely great play.
Yeah, it was a great play, and had two players closing in on him. Navy made a little cut, missed the first player, and he accelerated, and he was gone to the house in short order. 44 yards, Thornhill to Navy Jones. Colonels lead 6-0, 8:56 here remaining in the first quarter.
It's another Juan Thornhill touchdown pass, his 9th of the season, I believe. Navy did most of the work there, though, on that one. I'm sure Juan will admit it was just a little swing pass. Ball only had about 15 yards of hang time in the air, and then Navy, like I said, really did the rest. Walker Allen's kick is up, and it's good. 8:56 remains in the Apple Market first quarter, and the Colonels are already up 7-0. Navy Jones with the 44-yard touchdown grab. We're back after this on 105.5 KD Country.
Man, it's cold in here. What's wrong with your heater?
Well, it used to work pretty good.
Back in the 90s, just call Select Air and get it fixed.
Oh, it'll probably cost a lot of money.
No, it won't, because Donnie will give you a fair price and get it done right the first time.
Maybe I'll call Select Air tomorrow.
No, you will call Select Air today, because it's freezing in here.
Select Air, 841-1580. 841-1580. Online at selectair.webs.com. You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Well, whether it's on 105.5 or KDCountry.com, a Navy Jones passing touchdown sounds pretty good on any frequency, Oscar. Good play right there. And, boy, talk about all the exciting weapons Altavista has. Navy Jones really has firmly put his foot in that category this year.
It's really been a coming-out party for Navy this year. He's a little bit of an unknown. We saw him last year with the JV team, and, as a freshman last year, and then slowly integrated him into the offense this year. I think the real coming-out party was at Galax.
Yeah.
He's been confident then, and he is a real threat on any play.
Yep. Scored on the first play of the game last week at Rustburg on the opening kickoff. Scores on the second play from scrimmage for the Colonels this week on a long touchdown grab. Again, credit Darius Johnson on a really great block. Return man looks like Staten again from the Generals. No, I think that might be Bradley. And he has stopped it right around the 20-yard line, left hash mark. Big hit on the kickoff coverage team. So the Colonels will scrimmage, the Generals will scrimmage from the far hash mark there. 22-yard line, 23. And the Generals are going to stay in their usual single-wing offense here. Like I said, you got the center, 2 linemen to the left of him, 4 linemen to the right of him in a wing, 3 backs in the backfield. Direct snap. Looks like it's going to Staten. Staten climbing his way off right tackle there. Got it back to the middle of the field and picked up 1 or 2 yards. We'll call it a long 2. Yeah. It's actually James Clement again on the carry. I'm sorry, Oscar.
Yeah, well, we've well documented that with these white uniforms, white jerseys, and a very light silver, even though they're outlined in blue, they are extremely difficult under the lights to be able to identify those numbers.
Yeah, under the lights and from the distance that we're at, I mean, obviously, if you got right up on them, you're going to be able to tell pretty quickly, but from this distance, it's a little tough. And that single-wing backfield doesn't exactly help because there's a lot of spinning and faking, a lot of different misdirection stuff that they can do that will fool a broadcaster along with a defense. 2nd and 8 on the way. There's his spinner. Staten hands it off this time. Looks like Clemens going right sideline, hit hard by Juan Thornhill right at the 25-yard line for not much of a gain. It is James Clement, number 14. Big stop by the safety, Juan Thornhill, to limit the gain.
And Juan had a full head of speed. William Campbell didn't have a chance on that play. Juan was untouched. And a little bit of news from Juan Thornhill yesterday is he's made a verbal commitment. We'll talk about that later, but made a little bit of a verbal commitment to attend UVA.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting stuff there. And we talked about how we saw Mr. Anthony Poindexter, who is an assistant coach with the UVA football program there last week at Rustburg. So it all kind of makes sense now. And like I said, we'll talk about it a little bit more as the game goes on. Got one split out this time for the Generals, just one man deep in the backfield. Still got that up back where the quarterback would normally be. Passing play for William Campbell. Got a man open, and it's complete. Looks like number 6, Tevin Bradley, on the grab. And it's enough for a first down for the Generals. Excellent play right there.
Nicely designed play. It's one-on-one. Had the Altavista defenders, what the player that was out wide went long. Player in the slot stopped short. Picked up the first down. Gain of 11.
First passing play of the game for William Campbell. Credits them with a first down. So fresh set of downs to work with now. Under 7 minutes to play here in the Apple Market first quarter. Of course, 3 great locations: Main Street, Gateway, and Riverside. There's always one close by. Back to the original formation for the Generals. 2 split backs back deep in the backfield. Spinner play. Now they'll hand it off on the inside reverse. Looks like Bradley again on the carry. Small gain. He's cut down by Juan Thornhill. Donovan Montague in on the stop as well. And Dante Poindexter there helping out too.
He gained a 4, and Colonel William Campbell's starting to drive the ball here.
Well, the Generals are certainly faring better on this drive. 3 and out on their first drive. Taking a long time in the huddle. It is an old school ball control sort of offense. It's a shot.
We saw some of that late against the Rustburg team, that they started to stack people up in the box and tried to make Lovelace beat them over the top.
And we'll see if William Campbell wants to go to the air again here on third down or not. Right hash mark from the 42-yard line. They need to get to about the 46 to pick up a fresh set of downs. 5:25 to play here in the first quarter. Colonels up 7-0. Navy Jones receiving touchdown is the only scoring we've had thus far. William Campbell looks to the sideline, maybe a play adjustment. Here comes the snap. Ball got mishandled. Staten going to have to take off with it, and there's not much there. Bunch of guys in the backfield for the Colonels. Montague was there. Looks like Wayne Short in on the stop, and also Destin Brown. Don't know what the play was supposed to be, Oscar, but Staten never really handled the snap well, and I think he just decided to take off on his own.
Yeah, I think that's discretion, the better part of valor there, and he did try to do that. And eliminated a mistake, possibly losing the ball. At least they'll be able to punt the ball to the Colonels without a negative loss.
Yeah, and it looks like Staten, the man back to kick, did a nice job keeping it away of Michi Malback, the return man again for the Altavista Colonels last time. This snap's a little low. He picks it up. Not a bad kick. It kind of went off the side of his foot. It's going to land on about the 30. Michi will pick it up. Not much blocking in front of him, but he makes the guy miss anyway. Now he's going left sideline. Ushered out of bounds, fell down late. Don't think it was a late hit. I think he just got rolled up under somebody. Number 45 there for the Generals. Nicholas Witcher will get credited with the tackle. And Michi Malback gets the football out to the 39-yard line, so the Colonels will start on their half of the 50 this time around. Their second possession of the ball game. They lead 7-0, 4:22 to play here in the first quarter.
And first possession, the Colonels had 2 plays, 48 seconds, and matriculated quickly 48 yards downfield on a 44-yard touchdown from Thornhill to Jones.
Can you matriculate quickly, or is it...
Oh, yeah.
Is matriculating something that has to be done slow?
No.
2 wide receivers and a tight end for the Colonels. They give it to Clydell Moon. Moon just rushing his way through the middle of the defense. Used a nice stiff arm. Pickup of about 15 before he's brought down. More than enough for a first down for Altavista. Gets it out to the other 44-yard line.
Yeah, Clydell looked fresh on that. Hit the hole quickly and drug a couple of William Campbell players with him. Nice gain of 17 on that play for Clydell.
Yeah, Moon really does a great job of attacking those holes. Not that Destin Brown doesn't, but boy, when Moon gets going downhill and gets behind those pads, he's really an animal. Here comes the handoff to Clydell again. Turns the corner around the right side. Got some great lead blocking out in front of him. Boy, McLeese was about 10 yards downfield pushing some guys around. Close to a first down marker. Let's see if it's enough. Yeah, and the official is waving him on along. Looks like they are going to give him a first down. Back-to-back first down runs for Clydell Moon. This one probably only about 10.5 yards, but it is enough for a moving of the chains. Shotgun formation again. Thornhill, the quarterback, of course. 2 wide receivers each side. He's going to put Michi Ballback in motion. They'll hand it to him. Moon going to lead block for Ballback. This time Michi hustling up around the 30, now past the 25. Brought down there right around the numbers.
That's going to be close to another first down, right at the 24, 23.5-yard line.
That Colonel O-line really just establishing their dominance up front.
And lo and behold, they are going to mark that as a first down.
Yeah, referee kind of looked over there and decided, well, I don't really want to bring the chains out and measure this. Let's just call it a first down. But he probably had enough for it. Fresh set, 2 wide receivers to each side again for Juan Thornhill. Number 11 looking over the defense, taking a little bit more time on the snap this time, and he'll keep it himself. Lead block from Destin Brown. Spin move from Juan Thornhill right up the gut. Pickup of about 5, so breaks their streak of first down plays, but still a solid gain nonetheless.
Yeah, that was Juan wanted to get in some of the action after seeing Claudel and Michi run the ball. He wanted some yardage.
5-yard pickup for the junior quarterback for the Altavista Colonels.
Yeah,
3 wide receivers this time and a wing back. Go ahead, Oscar.
Yeah, it sounds kind of neat to say UVA-bound quarterback Juan Thornhill.
That's true. He'll put Demetrius Johnson in motion. Johnson goes over to the right. Juan Thornhill wants to pass. He's rushing out to his right. Design rollout. Got to get rid of it. He does. Wobbly pass, but Michi Ballback completes it anyway. Great catch by Ballback in the back of the end zone. 20-yard touchdown pass. Thornhill to Ballback. Thornhill's thrown 2 of them already tonight. We still got just under 3 minutes to play in the first quarter. 2
really good points on this play. And first is that Juan did a great job of eluding the rush. And Michi did a great job of finding a pocket. He was wide open, broke off his pattern, found a seam, kind of just, in football terms, sat down. Great vision by Juan. Great catch by Michi.
Yeah, all those guys, including Michi, are so good at when Juan scrambles, they find a way to get open, and they find an open place. Michi did that right there. Walker Allen looks like he's found the left side of the uprights. No good, this kick from Walker Allen, but the Colonels still lead 13-0, 20-yard scoring pass. Thornhill to Ballback. We'll be back right after this on 105.5 KD Country.
High school athletics builds character, teaches teamwork, and provides a solid foundation for life. PCM Industrial Services recognizes the importance of high school athletics by sponsoring this sports broadcast for your enjoyment. PCM Industrial Services encourages everyone to come on out and watch the game. It's a great time for the whole family. Cheer on the Colonels. PCM Industrial Services, the industrial maintenance and construction specialists, serving the Mid-Atlantic region with quality craftsmen since 1986. Good luck, Colonels.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Colonels lead 13-0. Still some time left in the Apple Market first quarter, Oscar.
Yeah, 5 plays, 48 yards. Nice touchdown drive by the Colonels.
Allen misses the extra point, but still a 13-0 lead nonetheless. And it's sort of different from your typical scoring drive. A lot of times you throw it down close to the end zone, then you run it in. This time the Colonels run it down to the 20 and then throw it in. But a fantastic throw and catch by the Colonels. Juan Thornhill, 2 passing touchdowns on the night now. 1 to Navy Jones, 1 right there to Michi Ballback. And Walker Allen set to kick off again. Here's the boot. Looks like somebody from Altavista might have been offside and left early. Allen's kick would have landed on the 5-yard line. Bounced into one of the officials down there. This will back Altavista up 5. They'll have to redo the kickoff.
And Walker's been consistent with that kickoff. When he hits it, it's down in that 5-yard line to the goal line.
Yeah.
And that's a pretty significant weapon here in high school football.
Yeah, it really is. You know, there's not a ton of guys that have that kind of leg consistently anyway. I mean, obviously there's guys that can really get into one and boom it down there. But you're right, Walker, really seems to drop 80% of them down there right on the 5-yard line or even a little beyond. He's got a handful of touchbacks to his credit so far this year. And he'll try it again, this time from the 35-yard line instead of the 40 after the 5-yard illegal procedure penalty. Looks like, I think, Bradley back deep again. Let's wait and see. This one will land on the 5, so the yardage has worked out perfectly. Return man is number 6, Tevin Bradley. He gets it all the way to the 20-yard line before he's stopped by Donovan Montague.
I would say stopped is an understatement. Donovan steamrolled him, and they're going to put that at the 25-yard line, but Donovan nailed him.
Yeah, Coach Sharness and I talked about old Donnie in a pregame show. Really, really becoming a great defender, and he was the one that jumped on the fumble last week at Rustburg that set up the Walker Allen field goal. So you can't discount Mr. Montague's importance in that football game last week.
He's really developed this year, too, Kyle. He's probably, if you have to right now to say most improved over the year, it'd be a dead heat between him and Canavis.
Well, I think you're absolutely right. Great point. 6 down lineman this time for the Colonels. William Campbell wants the pass. Flushed out of the pocket quickly, and it's caught. I don't know if that's an eligible receiver or not, because I think he was looking further downfield. Flag comes out. A couple flags come out now. Let's see if that's what it is. It may have been an ineligible receiver that caught that ball.
That's a great call, Kyle. It was an ineligible receiver.
Yeah, it's Devontae Callaway on the reception. 52, I don't believe, is an eligible number, so that's going to be what you have there. Great pressure being provided by both Clay Teagard and Casey McLeese on that play. Really hurried the quarterback, made him had to get rid of it a little bit earlier than he wanted to. I don't think he was trying to go to Callaway. Callaway was just there where the ball came out, and
he had 2 Altavista defenders closing in on him quickly. He had to unload that ball.
Yeah.
He was, even then, the quarterback was hit pretty hard.
Yeah, it's kind of hard not to catch it if you're a lineman, though. I mean, there's a ball coming at you. It's just human instinct, just to catch the ball and take off and run with it. I mean, even linemen play backyard football,
you
right?
Never know. If the ball was tipped.
True.
And it's fair game.
Let's see what the penalty shakes out to be. It's 5 yards. We'll see if it also goes as a loss of down or not. It seems like it should be, yeah.
That is a loss of down on the play.
Otherwise, it's not any worse than just a offside penalty, False start. It is going to be 2nd down. 2nd and 15 for William Campbell. Good defensive pressure being provided by the Colonels on that play. Same formation for the Generals. 4 linemen to the right of the center, 2 to the left of the center, and obviously those 2 guys on the end of the line, Oscar, are tight ends. I mean, they're eligible.
Missing your keys.
Officials still want to talk it over a little bit more. I'm guessing they're trying to make sure they got the yardage on the penalty right there. Now it's going to be a brand new penalty. It's a sideline warning for William Campbell. First one's a warning. And now it's going to be a timeout for William Campbell. So they want to get things straight. Obviously, not the way they want to start this drive. We'll take a timeout with them. Colonels lead 13-0, 2:31 to play in the first quarter on 105.5 KD Country.
In the past century, our community has grown, and Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service has grown too, alongside the families they've known for so long. Finch & Finch is proud to have served you over 100 years. A family business, Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service, dedicated to your service.
Finch & Finch Funeral Homes. We're here because we care.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Basketball team.
51 years of high school sports coverage on 105.5 KD Country. 13-0 Colonel lead right now, 2:31 to go here in the Apple Market first quarter. William Campbell took the timeout after just the sideline warning, and then before that, the ineligible receiver.
Still 2nd and long for the Generals.
And it makes it 2nd and 15 now.
And if you're William Campbell, you still got a chance to get into the playoffs. You want to take every opportunity you can. You want to keep coaching. You want these kids to keep playing because they're very well may be playing again next week.
Yep, and they might even play the Colonels. We'll see. Big rushing play right up the gut. Thornhill has to bring down the ball carrier all the way from his safety spot. This is enough for a first down. Called a 16-yard gain. Let's see, it was Tyrell Staten on the run there. Again, a lot of misdirection in that backfield. The jersey numbers aren't easy to read either, so if it takes us a little while on some of these plays, we beg your pardon out there in radio world, but it just is kind of tough tonight.
With that single wing, it's really kind of an option type of offense, and a lot of times when you can sneak that fullback, the first runner through, the defense isn't expecting that, and that's exactly what happened on that play.
Yep, you see a lot of guys moving around in the backfield, and you don't really notice the big fullback or whoever it is rumbling through the middle on you. One wide out this time for the Generals. Here comes a direct snap, going right up the middle. Wow, good stop right there by a defensive lineman for the Colonels. That's number 6, Demetrius Johnson, on the hit. James Clement on the carry. He really paid the price there as Demetrius was unblocked and brought him down for a short gain, 1.5 or 2.
Yeah, nice stop by Demetrius. Got him right in the midsection with a shoulder pad and shut that play down relatively quickly.
13-0 lead, minute and a half to play here in the first quarter.
Apple Market first quarter.
The Apple Market first quarter. Specials all game long. You can hear Nick tell you about them. And, boy, nothing like getting your weekend started off right by hitting up Apple Market after the game. Or during the game if you're riding around listening to us. 2nd and 8. Colonels have 3 down linemen, and then 2 of those linebackers walked up. Passing play again for William Campbell. Number 1, Staten, going to swing it out, and it looks like number 34, Tanner Davis. No, number 14, James Clement. I'm sorry. Ooh, it might have been number 34, actually, Oscar. I might have been right the first time. Go ahead.
They're going to mark that as a 45-yard line. It's going to be a pickup of about 7. Bring up.
I'm not going to blame Mr. McCracken on that one because he saved my butt more than a few times. But I think it might have been number 34, Tanner Davis, on the grab. Oh, we're having a good time up here. 3rd and 1, short yardage situation. Let's see if the Colonels D can get off the field. Really tight splits up there from the offensive and defensive lines. Football's on the ground. They could not handle the snap. Wayne Short in there. Also, Trayvon Elliott, too. Let's see who picked it up. I think William Campbell got it back, but they're going to lose yards on the play. Clement dove on it for William Campbell. They end up losing about 4. Let's see if they stay on the field, Oscar. This is middle of the field territory. They could conceivably go for it here.
Yeah, and at 1 and 8, with 4 yards to go, I think, if I'm William Campbell, I go for it.
Yeah, they're going to have a break to think about it. First quarter comes to a close. Colonels lead on 2 passing touchdowns, 13-0. Back after this on 105.5 KD Country.
Tonight's game is brought to you by these members of the Katy Country Sports Club.
Steve Farmer Auto Sales, where there's always a good selection of cars, trucks, SUVs, priced right, financing available. Steve Farmer Auto Sales, 1112 Main Street.
Aubrey Rosser Law Firm, Altavista. First choice for any and all legal advice. Services go way beyond court trials and settlements.
Diane's Hair Creations in Altavista, creating hairstyles for every lifestyle. 283-1111. That's 283-1111.
El Cerrito, Altavista. Throw on a sombrero. Shake your maracas. It's El Cerrito time. Authentic Mexican cuisine only at El Cerrito.
Shop Main Street Trading Company, Altavista, where quality and affordability go hand in hand.
Sharky's Pest Control in Hurt. Let Tony take a bite out of your pest control needs. Doing business the old-fashioned way to keep you coming back.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Back here from English Stadium, senior night from English Stadium here in Altavista. Colonels have the 13-0 lead, started the second quarter. Looks like the Generals are going to go for it here on 4th down. Ball is going to be spotted on the 43-yard line of William Campbell. So this is middle of the field territory, and like you said, 1 and 8, kind of throwing caution to the wind for William Campbell. I don't think you can fault the Generals and Coach Jay Ferris, for going for it here. Not a bad call. We'll see if they try and pick it up on the ground or in the air. They did have some success on passing plays so far early in that first quarter, Oscar.
Yeah, and we've seen the Colonels susceptible to the hard count here over the last 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah, good point. Coach Sharnes mentioned that in the pregame interview. You know, guys are allowed to go on different snap counts. William Campbell, they fake almost like a punt formation, snap it to one of the up guys. Not much there, though. Altavista didn't bite on the misdirection in the backfield. One of the backs for the Generals actually just went in motion backwards.
Like he was going to back to punt the ball.
Right.
And that, we've seen that play before.
Mm-hmm.
Great discipline by the Colonels on that play. Coach Revis had them prepared for that. They didn't jump. Nobody budged. They stayed at home. Turnover on downs, and once again the Colonels take over in William Campbell territory.
Yeah, big stop by those interior linemen there. I definitely saw T. Garden and McLeese getting there, mixing it up. Trayvon Elliott, I think, as well, was one of those guys. 2 wide receivers to each side. Navy Jones going to go in motion across the formation to the right. Now it's 3 receivers to the right. Swing pass to Demetrius Johnson. Had to go upstairs and catch it. Man around his ankles. Now he's got a couple guys around him. Give Demetrius credit just for holding on to the football. When he couldn't escape that initial tackler, the swarm hit him pretty quick. It'll probably go as a loss of 3 or maybe even 4 here when they finally back it up.
Yeah, it's
so they can give Demetrius any forward progress, apparently.
Yeah, Demetrius didn't have a nice job defensively by William Campbell on that. They read that play, and Demetrius went up and caught it, and by the time his feet hit the ground, he had a William Campbell player draped around his ankles.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, you can make a guy miss, but making 2 and 3 and 4 guys miss, well, that's a tall order. Demetrius couldn't do it there. 2nd and 13 for the Altavista Colonels. 2 wide receivers split out, 2 backs in the backfield, Juan Thornhill and a tight end. Juan's going to go left side across left tackle there. Gets it back to the original line of scrimmage, not a whole lot more, right around the 41-yard line of William Campbell. So it's a solid pickup. It'll set up 3rd and 9 for the Colonels. 10:50 to play here in the Apple Market second quarter. 13-0 Colonels lead. See what formation Coach Sharness wants to go with here. Looks like he's going to keep Darius Johnson in tight as a tight end. Demetrius Johnson split out here on our side. Colonels are going left to right on the radio dial. Michi Malbeck going to go in motion behind. They toss it to him. Malbeck cuts it up. Now he breaks it outside. Got to sidestep one guy, and he wants to cut it all the way across the field. He's got some blocking here on the turnaround, and he got the first down. He's across the 30, dragged down by Tyrell Staten. Big pickup on the reversal there. It wasn't a designed reverse, but once Michi cut it back, he had a lot of green space to work with here on the right side.
Well, he did, and as he made that turn back to this side, he got a key block from quarterback Juan Thornhill that did spring him, and then, of course, Johnson over on this side continued to block downfield and allowed Michi to get down to the 25-yard line, gain of 17. First down Colonels. They lead 13-0 with 10 minutes left here in the second quarter.
Well, good job by Michi keeping the play alive, and he realized that William Campbell had really overplayed him, and they didn't have anybody on that backside. Juan going to keep it himself. He faked it to Destin Brown. Thornhill across the 10, across the 5. He's in the end zone. What a run right there. Really sold the fake to Destin, and then he got some nice blocks on the outside and some just hard running from Mr. Thornhill. 3rd touchdown of the night for him. First 2 are in the air. This one's on the ground, and it gives the Colonels a 19-0 lead. Walker Allen going to come on to try the extra point.
And you made the point that he really sold the handoff to Destin. He really did. It froze William Campbell. It really even almost sold us up here that Destin had the ball. But great job by Juan with his ball handling. Had a little bit of a seam, turned the corner, and Colonels lead.
And the way Juan just sort of glides with those long steps, sometimes it doesn't look like he's going that fast, and then you realize, oh, he just covered 15 yards in about a second there. It's really incredible stuff. This kick from Walker Allen is good. 20-0 lead for the Colonels. 10 minutes to play here in the first half on 105.5 KD Country.
In the past century, our community has grown, and Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service has grown too, alongside the families they've known for so long. Finch & Finch is proud to have served you over 100 years. A family business, Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service, dedicated to your service.
Finch & Finch Funeral Homes. We're here because we care.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
25-yard touchdown run from Juan Thornhill. Colonels lead 20-0. 10:01 to play here in the first half. The Apple Market second quarter, Oscar.
Yes, that was a 43-yard drive, 4 plays, minute and 39 seconds.
That's the old Colonel drive we've been used to this year.
Yeah, it really is. Of course, capped off by that nice run by Juan Thornhill.
And some of the
extra point nailed by Walker Allen. We got a little Walker Allen story we'll give you here when we get a little lull in play.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we should even wait to the Subway halftime show for the Walker Allen story. We get to talk about Juan a little bit as well. But we'll just play it by ear. You never know. You get some of those long breaks in play every now and then, equipment injury, that kind of thing. Not that we want anybody to get injured. I'm just saying here. Walker Allen going to run up and boot this one away. This one's going to be a little bit shorter, but still a decent kick, going to land on about the 14-yard line. Not handled well, and the Generals have to fall on it. I think that was Bradley again that just really couldn't get under it. I think he was expecting it to be a lot deeper, and then when it landed on the 14 there, he didn't know what to do.
Well, it did, and usually with that type of kick, the way as fast as it was spinning him over in, it usually kicks up a little bit, and that ball just really kind of stuck to the ground when it hit. And he did the right thing falling on the ball.
Yeah, better safe than sorry, particularly on a kickoff play like that when you got 10 or 11 guys coming down full speed right at your direction. I mean, it's not the time you really want to take any chances.
I can tell you this, Michi Malbeck wouldn't have fallen on it.
He might have picked it up and scored, as a matter of fact.
He would have picked it up, because Michi thinks he can make a touchdown on every play, which is an admirable trait.
Yeah, attitude that you like to see, particularly from your playmaking guys. I'm not sure you'd want your guards and tackles to have that attitude. Here comes the off-tackle play from the Generals. Boy, hard hit right there from Juan Thornhill, stepping up from the safety spot and just leveling the ball carrier. Took him head over heels.
Well, it was a good thing that Juan did. It stopped it at the 15-yard line, but if Juan doesn't make that tackle, it's a huge gain.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing about Juan from that safety spot. He's kind of like the last line of defense and the first line of defense all at the same time. I mean, he loves to get in the backfield and make those big plays, but then other times he's called on to make the touchdown-saving play, and that was probably a case where there's a little bit of both right there. Solid 3-yard pickup there, though, for James Clement on the off-tackle run. Generals break the huddle again with one wide out. Same formation in the backfield this time. Fake right here. Here comes the reverse. Staten got it initially, and they handed it off inside to, it may have been Tevin Bradley.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you, Claudel Moon was all over that play. He met him high and just stuck him.
Small gain, 3rd and 5.
It was actually Jameel Ashley on the carry. They give him a yard. Going to make it 3rd and 5, so let's see if the Colonels' defense can get off the field again. They got a 4th down stop last time William Campbell had the ball. A 3rd down stop here would be huge because the Generals would probably really be in a position where they had to punt.
And that was one of those plays where they tried to do the little misdirection.
Yep.
The quarterback faked the handoff, headed the other way, ended up handing it almost like a reverse, but everybody stayed at home.
Yeah, sort of an inside reverse play, and you're right, Colonels did stay at home. Clydell Moon made a nice stop. Off tackle play right here, James Clement, and that ball came out. It looks like Navy Jones has fallen on it. No, it's not Navy Jones. It's Michi Malbeck on the fumble recovery. Don't know who popped it out, but it's Colonels football. They're going to have fantastic field position. Going to start from the William Campbell 24-yard line on the fumble recovery.
Yeah, big play. Michi was right there. He actually did fall on that ball. Had a little bit of room, but right thing for Michi to do. Colonels take over. 8:21 here remaining in the second quarter. Colonels lead 20-0.
Colonels could really blow it open with a score right here. Not to say that William Campbell would be completely out of it, but the door of opportunity would really be shutting on the Generals. Option play. Thornhill pitches it to Moon. Moon makes one guy miss, still on his feet. He's making a lot of guys miss. Look at this run right here. Still on his feet. Clydell Moon came in contact with a full 5 William Campbell players there, Oscar, and none of them could bring him down.
Boy, not only that, but he also ran over Demetrius Johnson in the process as well. He had 6 players that could have tackled him on that. That was a pure effort by Clydell Moon.
And I think the lesson is when Moon's got the football, get out of the way. It's enough for a first down pickup. We'll call it about a 12-yard gain there by Mr. Moon on a run that was just all heart and driving the legs out there. Thornhill's going to put Michi Malbeck in motion. They hand it off to him. Michi looking for the left sideline. Now he wants to cut it up. Still going outside. Uses a stiff arm. Solid 6-yard gain before he's finally brought down. Inbounds, but outside the numbers there. And we'll call this a 6-yard pickup. Colonels can get a first down right along the 1.5-yard line. Got to think if they pick that up, the end zone wouldn't be far behind.
About 7 yards.
It's going to bring up 2nd and 4. Maybe a long 3.5. Who knows? Looks like Altavista going to bring in the full house backfield. This time they'll split both Johnson brothers out wide. A lot of times when they go under center, the Johnsons come in as tight ends. Not here. Thornhill under center with the T formation backfield right behind him. Coach Sharness didn't like something about it, not lined up right. And I think he wants a timeout. He does. We'll take it with him. 20-0. Colonels lead. 2nd down on the way with 7:14 when we come back on 105.5 KD Country.
Try a variety of lunch specials priced under $4 at El Cazador Restaurant. The people that brought the first Mexican food to the area 13 years ago and still going strong 7 days a week. Come by for Mexican or American food, all reasonably priced with drink specials and great service too. Voted best Mexican restaurant by you, their customers, El Cazador Mexican Restaurant, Main Street in Altavista. El Cazador Mexican Restaurant thanks you for your loyalty and your business. You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Our fantastic producer, Mr. Nick Bailey, back at home base, doing a great job, as always, even under extra pressure here tonight with one or two technical issues. You probably couldn't even notice at home. Maybe Oscar couldn't even notice. I'm not sure. Shotgun formation again for the Altavista Colonels. Oscar is very perceptive. We don't call him Agent Zero for nothing. He notices everything. This is the unbalanced shotgun formation for the Colonels. You get a bunch of three receivers right there off right tackle, and then you get Navy Jones out wide. Shotgun snap going to Juan Thornhill. He'll hand it off. Destin Brown looking for the end zone, and he's in there. Had to hit a little spin move right on the goal line. I don't think it would have mattered. It's a 5-yard touchdown scoring run by number 7, the junior Destin Brown, and the Colonels are up 26-0. Walker Allen will trot out to try his 4th extra point of the game. Vintage Colonel stuff here, Oscar.
Yeah, 3 plays on that drive. The big one being the run by Clydell.
Yeah, great run by Clydell Moon there earlier in that drive, bouncing off 5 or 6 William Campbell would-be defenders. Snap is back, hold looks good. Walker pulled a little bit left, but slipped it inside the upright, and that makes it 27-0. Colonels lead, 7:10 to play here in the first half on 105.5 KD Country.
You can buy paint from any old yahoo who knows nothing about paint in one of those big box stores. For quality paint from people who really know paint, it's Davis Paints from your complete home center, English's. Davis Paints, which has been known for quality since 1921, is not just sold anywhere. Visit the new paint room at English's, your authorized Davis Paint dealer.
English's is your complete home center.
On North Main Street, Altavista.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Colonels bringing out the sledgehammer for William Campbell. They lead 27-0. 7 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the first half. Destin Brown adding the touchdown run right there. Juan Thornhill has thrown 2 TD passes, and he's run one as well, and it's basically been all Colonels from the start, Oscar.
Yeah, and with 7:10 remaining here, Colonels leading 27-0. At what point, Kyle, do you start to maybe rest some of these starters? You do have a couple players that are nicked up a little bit. You don't want to risk injury. So that's the question to you.
Yeah, it's an interesting question. I think it's a valid question. I got to believe Coach Sharnes is going to let his starters go, at least the first half anyway. But you're right. I think we'll see some of those guys get some limited playing time in the second half. Just a question of how limited. But certainly if you got the game in hand, I would say it's a great time to get some younger guys some experience. I mean, heck, you might need them in the playoffs at some point. High kick from Walker Allen, field in the middle of the field. Good run back right here by William Campbell. Let's see if we can get a ball carrier on that. Hard to tell. Looked like Dante Poindexter in on the stop. Michi Malback was there as well. Donovan Montague, number 3, in the area, as he tends to be when he's on the football field.
Yeah, and you talk about Dante Poindexter. Boy, did he have a game last week. In the second half, he was dominant on that defense.
Yeah, and I can't forget the play there in the third quarter where we said we hadn't called Dante Poindexter's name much in the first half, and then he proceeded to get a big tackle for a loss on third down. Yeah,
scrimmage during the first half.
Yeah,
second half. Excuse me.
Dropped in the backfield this time. No, looks like it is number 2, Clydell Moon, in on the stop. And Demetrius Johnson, number 6 as well. 6:52 to play here. Loss of 2 there for the Generals on that first play from scrimmage here in the second quarter.
Colonels are making some substitutions. We're seeing Elliott come in and out, really transitioning in and out, swapping out with Teagard and McLeese as well.
Yeah, all those linemen are pretty interchangeable. It's a nice luxury to have for Coach Revis and his defense. Misdirection play this time for William Campbell, going to the left side of the offensive line, plowing ahead. Good solid pickup, about 7-yard gain there for Tyrell Staten. And it's going to bring up a manageable third down situation. We'll call it 3rd and 5.
3rd and 5.
right from the 30-yard line. They need to get to their own 35. Far hash mark for us. General's going right to left this quarter.
Be interested to see. I haven't pulled up stats yet to see how many first down William Campbell has. I think it's 2 right at this point.
Yeah, I know they got the 1 passing. I thought there was 1 rushing, but you may be right. It just may be those 2 first downs. See if they can get one here. Altavista crowding that line of scrimmage. Football on the ground again. Colonels really helped force that fumble, I think, even though the snap was never caught cleanly by the Generals. And the Colonels have it. And it's 73, Casey McLeese on senior night, picking up the fumble there for the Altavista Colonels. Colonels will take over with excellent field position. Again, their last scoring drive was sparked by the Michi Malbeck fumble recovery. Let's see if they can score again. This time, the Casey McLeese fumble recovery.
Yeah, and once again, we see McLeese come in, and the snap was problematic for William Campbell again.
Yeah, I think the Colonels really added to the pressure by crowding that line of scrimmage. William Campbell felt like they had to hurry, and you don't catch the snap clean. Doesn't matter how quick you hurry if you don't have the football. Thornhill's got Moon to his right, 2 receivers to each side. 1 tight end. He's looking for that tight end down the middle. It's Darius Johnson. It's caught at the 10, and Johnson does the rest, waltzing it into the end zone. I thought Darius was split out wide, but he had his hand on the ground as a tight end, went right down the middle. Great route, and Juan found him over the middle.
Boy, what a strike that was from Thornhill. That ball never got above 10 feet off the ground, and Johnson was in stride, in traffic. Boy, that was right in that middle seam, on the money. Great play by the Colonels.
33-0 after the touchdown pass from Thornhill to Darius Johnson. Boy, really good stuff from Juan. He had a great pocket to throw from as well, so credit the O-line. Snap is back. Hold looks good. Kick looks even better. Walker Allen has converted another one. 34-0. Colonels lead. 5:39 to go in the first half on 105.5 KD Country.
A short drive will save you money.
That's right. A short drive can save you hundreds, maybe thousands. The absolute best selection of new and pre-owned vehicles to choose from. Have a trade? When you make a deal, Feller Chevrolet will pay it off, no matter how much you owe. Slow credit? Don't worry. Drive away today in your new or pre-owned vehicle. Remember, if you didn't purchase your vehicle from Feller Chevrolet, you paid too much for it.
Feller Chevrolet
In Altavista.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Boy, Kyle, after the turnover, 1 play, 5 seconds, 27-yard touchdown. Another typical Colonel drive.
Yeah, typical stuff. You're right. The 27-yard scoring pass there, Juan Thornhill to Darius Johnson, and Casey McLeese picks up the fumble. I mean, that's something, if you're an underdog team like William Campbell, you just got to play mistake-free if you want to stay in these football games, and they haven't done that tonight. Colonels have taken advantage.
Yeah, that's the second turnover for William Campbell here in this second quarter. 5:39, Colonels lead 34-0. Game is firmly in hand now.
Yeah, now I think your question that you brought up after the last touchdown definitely becoming a question that we got to talk about a little bit more. When do you take your starters out? And you don't have to take them all out at the same time, and I'm sure there'll be some rotation stuff going on. Another kickoff mishandled. Whistle blows as a William Campbell defender had to put his knee on the ground. That's Daniel Dawson. He was going to pick it up and run, but the knee was down when he picked it up. And William Campbell will start on the 16-yard line, their own 16-yard line. Fresh set of downs here for the Generals.
Be interested to see how William Campbell handles this drive. They've last 2 drives have ended in turnovers with quick scores by the Colonels. So,
yeah, I'm going to digress here in a minute, because we got so many great things to talk about on the Subway halftime show, Oscar. What's good on the Subway sub is the Tony Chachere's seasoning sauce there, the Tony Sherrigans. Passing play for the Generals complete on the right sideline. I got to stay with some seasoning. It's just something I think about all the time. Tyrell Staten with the pass completed Tevin Bradley. There is a flag down, however. It looked like he was right there where Bradley caught the football, Oscar.
Be interested to see. They are looking back, and
Generals have shown some good stuff passing the football. They haven't done it much. Looks like
Just trying to take off is what that was.
unsportsmanlike.
We got the signal from the official, and it's a signal that we're not all that familiar with. It will give William Campbell a first down. The penalty was on Altavista. I don't know if it was a sideline warning on the Colonels. It wasn't the same kind of a motion.
No,
it was
sportsmanlike. 15-yard penalty.
Okay.
From the point of the point of the play where it ended, 15-yard pickup, put them at the 35-yard line.
There may have been just something verbal there, because I certainly didn't see any kind of a tackle or a face mask or anything that would have warranted a unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. But let's move on. Just one lone setback this time for the Generals. He takes it right up the gut and is dropped by Destin Brown, and on the stop, Demetrius Johnson as well. Pickup of 4 for Tyrell Staten and William Campbell. This gets it to the 40-yard line, their own 40-yard line. 5:14 remaining here in the Apple Market second quarter. Colonels up 34-0. Been in charge right from the start. Navy Jones ran a 44-yard touchdown reception in, and that just opened things up. Thornhill has thrown 3 touchdown passes. Run 1. Destin Brown has run another. Second down on the way for the Generals. Misdirection play again. Staten looks like he's going to keep it and go up the middle again after the fakes. Not a whole lot there, but he did pick up about a yard. McLeese getting up off the pile. Kenny Brumfield getting up off the pile. And also Demetrius Johnson as well.
Wayne Short coming into the game for the Colonels, replacing Navy Jones. They're going to pack it in, pack that front line in.
Yeah, bring in the jumbo set. We saw Wayne Short a lot last week. Played some significant time on that defensive line last week against Russburg. That D-line was really tested against the running attack there.
Significant time, and he did really well. Played a very good game.
Same formation for the Generals, no wideouts, 2 tight ends. Here comes the double pass, and Tyrell Staten's going to throw it again. He's got a man open, backpedaling. That ball might have hit the ground. No, they're going to say he caught it. What a catch right there on an interesting little trick play. The tailback hands it to one of the upbacks, and then he throws it back to Staten. Then Staten throws it downfield along the right sideline to Tevin Bradley. Hard to describe on the radio. That football was in the air a whole lot, Oscar, but it's a completion and a first down pickup.
Yeah, it was, and he was about 10 yards behind. The receiver was about 10 yards behind Juan Thornhill. Nice job by William Campbell of recognizing what Altavista was doing, packing that line up and adjusting. That was a nice little trick play. Moved it to the to the Altavista 25-yard line.
Yeah, neat little play. It was essentially a flea flicker, I guess, but it was interesting to watch. Tyrell Staten going to keep it himself after some fakes. Solid pickup here along the right hash mark. Gain of 4.5 or 5 yards after the stop there by the entire team from Altavista. I think Donovan Montague was the first guy in on it, but there were a lot of black jerseys in the area.
William Campbell threatening here. They're in the red zone.
Well, Altavista, despite being up 34-0, would love to preserve the shutout, particularly in the first half. And they're really being tested here. William Campbell's really shown the ability to throw the ball quite well, Oscar. I know they're a run-first team, but they can chuck it. 14, James Clements on the carry. Not much there off tackle.
No gain. It looks like they might even mark that for a loss.
Yep, he went off the right side there. And, of course, the right side is the long side, the unbalanced side. You're right. They did mark it about a full yard back. We'll call it 3rd and 7 from the right hash mark. Far hash mark from us. 2:47 to go here in the first half. Colonel's still leading 34-0. Got to feel like it's 4-down territory for the Generals, particularly with the score being what it is. They trail by 34. Staten going to be the only setback this time. Looks like they're going to split Clements out wide to the right. Formation stays the same other than that. Here's the shotgun snap. Staten wants to pass. Sort of a true straight drop back. He's getting chased by Demetrius Johnson. He had to get rid of it. Ball falls incomplete along the right sideline. Coverage was good as well. And Demetrius just made that play really not work at all for William Campbell with the way he was pressuring.
Yeah, he did. That's a very, very good point, and very good coverage downfield. Really athletic play from the quarterback to be able to get that ball out.
Yeah, it's not easy to throw when you got a Johnson pulling on your jersey like that. So it was a pretty athletic play just to get rid of it and save the loss of yards. But this will bring up 4th and 7. Generals will go for it. Colonels would love to get another 4th down stop and get off the field. Dante Poindexter, I see him in on the defensive line. These single-wing teams usually have very tight splits up front, too, Oscar, so it's hard to really get in the backfield. Passing play, it's not a passing play, it's a running play. Clements looking for the first down marker. He's close. He may have sufficient yardage right there. That was the same play as before where Staten gets the initial snap, hands it off to the up-back, then the up-back pitches it backwards.
They're marking it right on 15-yard line. They're giving him the first down without even measuring.
It's a flea flicker type of play, but it is a play that those single wing teams will employ often, and it will be enough for a fresh set of downs. Good pickup there. Ball gets spotted right on the 15-yard line, and the Colonels' defense really back to the wall again. Let's see if the bend but don't break strategy works again for Altavista.
You got to find a new cliche.
I know that is getting old. You're absolutely right. They snap it to Clemens on the direct snap. Nothing there. Dante Poindexter met him in the backfield. This is going to be a loss of about 3. What a stop. Dante just could not be blocked.
Boy, and Dante's shown time and time again that you talk about the bend but don't break. More often than not, Dante's involved in that. He blew that play up and dropped him for about a 3-yard loss.
Yeah, let me tell you a scary thought, Oscar. Scary for other teams anyway. Dante Poindexter and Kenavis Jones, 2 guys that have really made big impacts this year on this football team. They're just sophomores. So that's not something that everybody else is looking forward to. Inside reverse here again, and they're going to get stopped in the backfield again. This time it's Clydell Moon. Moon played his responsibility. He did not bite on the fake. Flag on the far side of the field here. Let's see what this is on. It was not around the tackle. Clydell Moon on the stop. It would be another loss, this one of about 2. And here comes
sportsmanlike against Altavista.
Yeah. And that's not good.
What's going on? Coach Sharness is not happy, and him and the ref umpire are really, really talking to each other.
Yeah, they're having a pretty sizable conversation. I don't know if Coach Sharness was disagreeing with the call or maybe he just wanted to know who did what. They'll step this off, and it is against the Colonels. It should be a automatic first down, and it's going to make it 1st and goal from, let's see where they finally put the stick down, 10-yard line. Like I said, I think it's a fresh set of downs. They've got that rolled over to, it is going to be 1st and goal. 1.5 minutes to play. Let's see if the Colonels can make a stop here. William Campbell should have a full 4 chances at it. Staten wants to pass, rolling out to his right, lobs it up, passes incomplete, and the receiver paid for the incompletion. Destin Brown really laid a shot right there. Staten's pass wasn't terrible. It was a little high. The receiver could not hold on. Looking for Tanner Davis, Oscar.
Yeah, he was looking for Tanner, and Tanner had no prayer. Dustin was got there within half a second of when the ball did and lowered the boom on him. Ball's just inside the 10-yard line. It is 2nd and goal.
Great timing by Destin Brown. Really, I think Tanner Davis had to have heard the footsteps a little bit. It's part of the reason why he couldn't hang on to that one. Different formation for the Generals. They got a wide out this time. Snap it to Staten. He wants to keep it on the running play. Got some room up the middle. He's short of the goal line. He's actually still on his feet. The pile's getting pushed. Now the whistles come out. See where they finally spot this. Should be inside the 5-yard line, Oscar. Maybe right around the 3 or the 4. And it will bring up 3rd and goal for William Campbell. They do spot it just right on that 5-yard line, like I said. So he didn't get as much forward progress as I thought he might.
Yeah, they're going to call it a gain of 4. Good call, Kyle. Good eye on the spot. Difficult to see from where we are on this end of the field.
Well, difficult for us to see from anywhere, but I lucked into that one, I guess. 2 split backs this time for the Generals. Either they can snap it to either guy in this offense. They snap it to Staten. He's going to the right side. Looked like he lost the handle momentarily. Not a whole lot there as he is run down by the Colonel defense. No gain on the play. Did a lot of east to west, but never could get his shoulders turned and head towards that end zone. So this will bring up 4th and goal from the 5-yard line.
Looked like Demetrius Johnson in on that play.
26 seconds left. William Campbell may have to burn a timeout if they don't get a play call in here, because I would assume they want to try and get this ball in the end zone before the half ends. Yep. Looks like William Campbell, Coach Jay Ferris, going to tell the official, hey, let's let it run down as low as we can, 1 second, then we'll call a timeout. That's exactly what they're going to do. We'll take a timeout with them. Short 30-second break here. William Campbell's got a 4th and goal when we come back on 105.5 KD Country.
English Construction Company has been in the building business since 1932, so it's only natural that they appreciate the building process. They recognize the fact that organized sports programs build character as well as bodies and minds. They know that high school sports build our youth into more well-rounded and more productive adults. English Construction Company is proud to be a sponsor of high school sports and salute all athletes, coaches, and teachers. A word of praise and encouragement from English Construction Company with offices in Lynchburg, Virginia.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
3.6 seconds left here in the Apple Market second quarter. Altavista's defense trying to preserve the shutout, Mr. Briggs. They've only got 5 yards to work with.
And during that 30-second timeout, Coach Sharnes was talking with the head official and pretty animated from both of them. I think Coach Sharnes wanted to know exactly what was going on with unsportsmanlike and unsportsmanlike, easy for me to say.
William Campbell will change the formation a little bit. They got a wing to the left and then a split out to the left. Put a man in motion. Staten wants to pass. Now he's going to have to flush out and run. He's headed to the end zone. Stopped short, though. Looks like he got stopped short. Tripped up. He tried to dive ahead. Thornhill was in on the stop. So was Casey McLeese. Great stop right there for the Altavista Colonels to end the first half, Oscar. And they'll go to the locker room with a big lead.
Well, that was a busted play because the William Campbell Generals had two players set out wide on the left-hand side. Altavista only had one defender out, so it was a missed assignment. He pump faked, but by the time he decided to throw the ball, Davy Jones had come over and closed on that play, so he tucked the ball and ran, almost made it. I mean, within 2 feet of making it into the end zone.
Yeah, he got tripped up, about 4 yards shy, and really just kept the momentum going, dove forward. Got to give Staten a lot of credit for showing heart, but you got to give the Colonels defense a lot of credit too. They preserved the shutout. Going into the locker room, Subway halftime show. When we come back, 34-0 Colonel lead on 105.5 KD Country.
This week's specials from your Apple Market's convenience stores. Warm up with any size coffee or cappuccino for just 99 cents. And Little Debbie Honey Buns get 2 for 89 cents. 24-pack of Pepsi, special price now $6.99 at Apple Market locations, Riverside, Gateway, and Main Street in Altavista. Visit your Apple Market's convenience store soon. They help bring you Altavista football. Show them some love.
Don't you think it's time that your business account made you money? I'm Marion Marshall with First National Bank, and we've introduced a small business interest checking account that earns your business interest. That's right, interest. So for a progressive small business checking account, come to First National Bank today. We'll show how your business account will earn interest, and we'll provide you with an extraordinary customer experience. First National Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Apple Auto Glass is your windshield repair and replacement center in Lynchburg. You get a free car wash with all windshields replaced in the shop. Apple Auto Glass wants the fans to enjoy the boys of fall this high school football season.
When I feel that chill, smell that fresh cut grass, I'm back in my helmet, cleats, and shoulder pad. Kings of the school, man, where the boys of fall.
Apple Auto Glass salutes the boys of fall.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
34-0 is where the Subway halftime show finds us. Subway Eat Fresh. A lot of good stuff going on at Subway, Oscar. They got that new hot stuff, the sriracha. You know what I'm talking about? You like hot sauce and stuff like that, right? You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Did you get that tonight? Yeah. Oh, okay. Oscar and I aren't allowed to go into Subway together anymore. We were causing too much trouble. That wasn't an executive decision by Oscar, or that wasn't an executive decision by Robert Duff. That was just a decision Oscar and I made. We just thought it would be better to split up the group, but no, in all honesty, Subway, great customer service, great food. Never going to go wrong at Subway.
You're right, and again, we've well documented, the catering ability.
Yes.
The box lunches that they provide for the businesses or for whatever function you may have. They have a huge Subway platter for Super Bowl type games, big bowl games, boxing matches,
yes.
Pay-per-view, whatever you want to do.
Good call.
They can accommodate.
Good call. Got some boxing fans listening every now and then, and of course our old friend Bobby Alvis is always tuning in. Good left hook, that Alvis. I'm telling you, he's got. You don't see it coming either. Throws it from odd angles, and speaking of odd angles, the Colonels come at you from every angle. It's like. We talk about Clydell Moon and Destin Brown and Juan Thornhill in the backfield. Then you forget about guys like Navy Jones and Michi Malback, and then the two Johnson brothers. I mean, what about the catch Demetrius made last week in that Rustburg game for the touchdown?
I mean, the throw and catch is both something you'd see on a Saturday afternoon, and under the circumstances and the pressure, and boy, what a way to fight back and tie that ball game.
Yeah, and we talked a little bit about a Walker Allen story, and again, if you don't know, if you weren't around last week or you haven't heard, Colonels get the big win, 24-21 at Rustburg. They scoop up a fumble with less than 2 minutes to go, march down and get Walker Allen in perfect range, and then he proceeds to make the game-winning kick there. And tell us a little bit more about that kick and the background. Of course, again, if you didn't hear about the Gretna game, Allen had a chance to win it. Colonels were down 1 and just barely missed a game-winning field goal there.
Very similar circumstances. Gretna scored late. Altavista, went up by 1. Altavista drove down the field, got to essentially extra point range. Time, 1 play left, time clock on the clock, and Walker Allen just barely missed wide. Clark Scott, longtime member of employee of Pennsylvania County School System, and great supporter of the Altavista Athletics, has a brother who is equipment manager for the Indianapolis Colts, and he was talking to him and talking about that miss. And then after the game last week, I got to talk to Bob Allen and Chris Allen, who were Walker's parents, and he said that after that Gretna game, as Clark was talking to his brother in Indianapolis, his brother said, I'll talk to our field goal kicker and just talk to him and tell him what happened. So he goes and talks to Adam Vinatieri, and Vinatieri says, you know what, a kid like that, sophomore, hardworking, everything that you've told me, I'll do a little something for him. So he took the time, got a Colts, official NFL ball, signed it, said, Walker, keep kicking, and signed it number 4, and Adam Vinatieri, and sent it to the Walker family and to Walker. Pretty neat story. And now it's sitting on the dinner table as the centerpiece.
That's right. Yeah, no, it really is a great story. I mean, that's if you've watched the NFL in the past 10 years, you got to know Adam Vinatieri. I mean, won the Super Bowls with the Patriots, now with the Colts. I mean, you think about those Patriots title runs they had and how many big kicks that guy made. And he's been there. He's missed some big kicks, too. I mean, that's the thing, and I think that's the message, that he tried to relay to Walker is you just got to go out there and keep kicking. Everybody's going to miss every now and then.
And something that we didn't talk about was the very next morning after the Gretna game, Walker and his father came out, 8 o'clock Saturday morning, nobody else around, and Walker hit that kick, and he hit about 50 in a row.
Right.
So just his dedication and his hard work, and as a sophomore, he's got range out to 40, 45 yards.
Right.
We're seeing him on kickoffs, getting the ball to the 5-yard line. There's no doubt in my mind that within 3 years we'll see Walker. He'll be kicking somewhere on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about the range, the leg strength. He's an athlete, too. I mean, that's the other thing he's got going for him. He got called up late in the season on that state championship basketball run last year. We've seen him play some meaningful snaps out there at wide receiver and cornerback this year with the varsity football team. So that's the other thing that's great about Walker is he's not just a kicker, but he's a well-rounded athlete as well. And great head on his shoulders, like you said. I mean, I love the story about him coming out that Saturday after Gretna and banging in a bunch of kicks. Got to get back on the horse and ride sometimes. I mean, that's the name of the game. We'll get back on the horse and ride here in a minute on the Subway Halftime Show with some more stories and stats and whatever else we decide to talk about. Colonels lead big, 34-0. Back after this on 105.5 KD Country.
Stay cool in the summer and warm in the winter. Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling on the ready to keep you comfortable year-round. Locally owned and operated, just a call away with over 20 years experience. Licensed and bonded, Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling, specializing in heating, air, plumbing, and electrical, any season, anytime. Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling, keeping you cool in the summer and warm in the winter. Give them a call today. Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling, Gretna.
Man, it's cold in here. What's wrong with your heater?
Well, it used to work pretty good.
Back in the 90s, just call Select Air and get it fixed.
Oh, it'll probably cost a lot of money.
No, it won't, because Donnie will give you a fair price and get it done right the first time.
Maybe I'll call Select Air tomorrow.
No, you will call Select Air today, because it's freezing in here.
Select Air, 841-1580. 841-1580. Online at selectair.webs.com.
High school athletics builds character, teaches teamwork, and provides a solid foundation for life. PCM Industrial Services recognizes the importance of high school athletics by sponsoring this sports broadcast for your enjoyment. PCM Industrial Services encourages everyone to come on out and watch the game. It's a great time for the whole family. Cheer on the Colonels. PCM Industrial Services, the industrial maintenance and construction specialists, serving the Mid-Atlantic region with quality craftsmen since 1986. Good luck, Colonels.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
34-0 Altavista leads. Subway halftime show, Subway Eat Fresh, two great locations. Main Street in Altavista and also the Walmart in Altavista on the Clarion Road. And we talked about it just briefly, Oscar, but number 11, Juan Thornhill, Mr. Everything for the Altavista Colonels. If you haven't heard about Juan Thornhill, what rock did you just crawl out from under, I guess. But, hey, maybe if you're passing through, just you're from out of town, you're just driving along, and you tuned in 105.5, you don't know about Juan Thornhill. Probably one of the best athletes we've ever seen, you know, on the basketball court and the football field. Pretty good running around that track as well. He recently made a verbal commitment to the University of Virginia, and we talked about Mr. Anthony Poindexter at the game last week, and let's discuss that a little bit.
Yeah, not only was Anthony at the game last week, we knew that Anthony spent a considerable amount of time here at Altavista High School Friday, talking to the administration, talking to Juan, and, you know, just spending some time with Coach Sharness and the other coaches. And it's not the first contact with Juan, and Juan's wanted to go to UVA for a long time. He's been talking about that for 3 or 4 years now. And so, you know, we had a little bit of inside information last week. We couldn't really divulge that, but the fact that, you know, yesterday he made a verbal commitment as a junior. Some people were a little bit surprised that they didn't wait till after basketball season to do that, but there's such a small window when it comes to football, announcing and with a verbal where you can go. So he knew where he wanted to go. He was made the offer, and he jumped all over it. And you know, from an athlete's perspective, that takes a lot of pressure off of you. It'll stop some of the recruiting calls, and really the decision's made now for him, and he can relax and play football and play basketball and enjoy the rest of his athletic career here at Altavista.
Yeah, I agree. You don't have to worry necessarily about the pressure of, I got to perform when this guy shows up, or I got to go to this camp, I got to do this, that kind of stuff. You really can focus. And I don't think Juan's ever a guy that's going to let off the field stuff bother him on the field anyway, but it is nice just to get it out of the way. And hey, you know, you look at the great tradition that UVA has, and the tradition that they have, you know, in this area. I mean, you got your Poindexter, obviously, Jatan Evans, Chris Cook, those guys, you know, a bunch of people. Brad Butler from EC Glass was a starter there for a while. A little guy named Vic Hall from just down the road. Yeah, exactly. Vic Hall's put together a nice pro career for himself in the Arena League. No shame in that. And, yeah, I mean, it's definitely a place you can go. You're going to get a great education, obviously. And I think, you know, you can say what you want about the state that their football program is in, you know, with Mike London right now, but they're on the right track. You know, you got to have some down years, you know, to really enjoy those good years, I always say. And I think Virginia's on the right track, and who knows, Juan Thornhill may be the guy that helps lead that resurgence.
Well, he could, and I think when you look at Juan from an objective perspective, you look at Juan, and at 6'1", 170, I don't think they're looking at him from a quarterback perspective at this point. I don't think he's got the arm strength, but from certainly as an athlete, he's more than capable. You'll probably see him do some things with him similar to what they did with Vic Hall, as far as he's got to bulk up a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, wouldn't hurt to slap on, you know, 10, 15, 20 extra pounds of muscle. And Juan is a guy that obviously is dedicated in the weight room. As he gets older, I'm sure that's going to take care of itself. But you're right. I mean, he's obviously we know how good he is as a quarterback, as a runner. So you think maybe first off an offensive player somewhere. But you and I have both commented he's just as good on the defensive side of the ball. I could easily see him being like an Anthony Poindexter or Jatan Evans, running around out there at strong or free safety somewhere, just lighting people up and snagging balls out of the air that the other team's quarterback throws.
And he could even go to a corner type situation with his athleticism and speed.
Yeah. Well, and Juan's a guy. I mean, we said on the basketball court, whether you put him at point guard or center, he's going to find a way to beat you. I mean, he's just one of those guys. He's really exciting as a basketball player too. We haven't even talked about his basketball exploits, have we? No. We'll talk about that during basketball season, maybe. But on the football field, I mean, boy, just initially, I think back to those 2 goal line stops he had down there at Chatham that were huge. And then some of those runs, one of those runs particularly at Galax, where he was just all over sideline to sideline and then about 60 yards going down the field. Juan does it all.
Yeah, he does.
And he's got a great head on his shoulders, too. I mean, he really is a great dude. I mean, he's a guy you want to hang out with,
He's extremely coachable. And you watch him on the basketball court, he certainly is an extension of Mike Cardellera. And, that says a lot.
Yeah, he's got the real yeoman-like quality, too, to where he's going to give credit to everybody else. He's going to give credit to the O-line, the receivers, and the running backs, and all that good stuff that you love to see. Subway, I couldn't even think about it. Subway halftime show. Thought maybe we were post-game already, Oscar. Subway halftime show winding down here. We'll take another time out and come back in about a minute and a half. Second half on the way. Colonels lead 34-0 on 105.5 KD Country.
In the past century, our community has grown, and Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service has grown too, alongside the families they've known for so long. Finch & Finch is proud to have served you over 100 years. A family business, Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service, dedicated to your service.
Finch and Finch Funeral Homes. We're here because we care.
Try a variety of lunch specials priced under $4 at El Cazador Restaurant. The people that brought the first Mexican food to the area 13 years ago and still going strong 7 days a week. Come by for Mexican or American food, all reasonably priced with drink specials and great service too. Voted best Mexican restaurant by you, their customers. El Cazador Mexican Restaurant, Main Street in Altavista. El Cazador Mexican Restaurant thanks you for your loyalty and your business.
You can buy paint from any old yahoo who knows nothing about paint in one of those big box stores. For quality paint from people who really know paint, it's Davis Paints from your complete home center, English's. Davis Paints, which has been known for quality since 1921, is not just sold anywhere. Visit the new paint room at English's, your authorized Davis Paint dealer.
English's is your complete home center.
On North Main Street, Altavista.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Subway halftime show concluding final segment, but don't let that stop you from going to Subway. In fact, that's all the reason to go to Subway. I've told you about those raspberry cheesecake cookies, right, Oscar?
You have told
strawberry, raspberry,
often and repeatedly that's your favorite. And,
all right.
In addition to the Subway, we like to thank our other sponsors. We'd be remiss if not doing that. First National Bank, focused on providing an extraordinary customer experience. Apple Markets, serving you from 3 Altavista area locations. Tyree Little Heating and Cooling, keeping you cool in summer, warm in the winter, and comfortable in between. English Construction Company, wishing our high school athletes an exciting and injury-free game. Feller Chevrolet, where a short drive will save you money. El Cazador Mexican Restaurant, the happy place. English's, your complete home center, headquarters for Davis Paints. Select Air, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, never an overtime charge. PCM Industrial maintenance and construction specialist since 1986. Apple Auto Glass and Mirror, Ford Avenue, Lynchburg. And Finch & Finch Funeral Homes, families serving families since 1905.
Yeah, and we should also take time to mention the fantastic marching colonel band there under the direction of Mario Ruiz. They his first year taking over. I know our very own Nick Bailey helped him out there some in camp before the season started. Don't know if they're going to continue on in the playoffs or not. That's why I said we should mention them tonight on senior night. And,
I think it's great that you mentioned them. We have seen a hiatus, had some issues here with getting some participation in the band for several years. We are starting to see a resurgence. More members on the field than we've seen in the last, in quite some while. Again, went a couple of years without a marching band here. So it's good to see that program revitalized. And, you got to believe that part of that's due to the resurgence of the football program.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it go hand in hand. You know, it's when both programs are up and going well, you know, people want to come out. You get more people on Friday nights. It becomes, you know, not just about the game. It's about the social event, too. But, yeah, when you got a good product on the field, and then you got a good product playing the tunes, certainly makes it a great atmosphere. It's always fun out here at English Stadium every Friday night, and so glad we'll get some more home games. Of course, we were talking earlier about, you know, Colonel's 2 or 3 more home games, probably 3. Got to win them first to keep going. You know, that's the other thing. I mean, they don't just guarantee you 3 more games. You got to win that first one next week. But boy, I don't know, Oscar, with the way the Colonels have really been rolling here as of late. Well, I don't want to jinx anybody, so I'm just going to say this. I like the Colonels' chances, particularly the first few weeks of the postseason.
Yeah,
anyway.
I do too. And the Colonels will get the ball here early in the first. They get it here first in the third quarter. Stats are a little bit misleading. William Campbell had 2 turnovers. Altavista with only 202 yards of total offense against 113 for William Campbell, but Altavista got the ball, you know, on short fields in 4 different situations. So, you know, you're not going to pile up a bunch of yards, and they didn't. The time of possession was, you know, heavily in favor of William Campbell as well, because Altavista's drives were 4 plays, 2 plays, 1 play. So, you know, pretty misleading from the statistical perspective, but certainly not on the scoreboard as the Colonels lead 34-0.
Yeah, great point. I mean, the stats don't really tell the whole tale. You had Michi Malbeck picking up the 1 fumble to start a scoring drive, and then Casey McLeese did the same thing on William Campbell's next time they had the ball. He picked up a fumble and gave the Colonels great field position. Michi Malbeck had the 1 punt return that got the Colonels in pretty nice field position. So, yeah, yardage-wise, perhaps a little bit misleading, but the Colonels in full control of this one. I got a feeling Coach Farr's squad, the Generals, are going to keep playing hard. They're going to come out here in the second half and try and do some things. And, you know, they probably feel like, hey, if we had a little bit more time, maybe the clock wasn't against us, we could have gotten the end zone there late. You know, they got it down to the 5-yard line. And I'm not going to use the old cliche, but the Colonels' defense gave up some ground but didn't give up the touchdown. How about that? That just doesn't sound as good as bend but don't break.
Well, they also gave up, also had 2 15-yard penalties on that drive that certainly didn't help Altavista.
Well, if you heard the post-game interview with Coach Sharnes, I mean, he mentioned that. You know, it's the penalties have got to get taken care of. I mean, obviously he knows he's a realist too. You're never going to eliminate every penalty, but you can't give a team free 30 yards like the Colonels did on 1 drive. That's for sure.
And we're just about underway here. Both teams taking the field.
And William Campbell sets up in a bunch kickoff formation. They spot the ball on the left hash mark there on the kickoff, which is legal.
Not a bad crowd here in Altavista for what was on paper a lopsided ball game. And it's turned out that way here.
Yeah, you're right. I think there's a decent crowd out here. And then the weather, it's a little cold as well. Here comes a run-up. Short kick. Donovan Montague will field it. It's going to fall on it at the 35-yard line. Wise decision by Donnie right there. And the Colonels will start out with very good field position from the William Campbell 35. No, excuse me, from their own 35. From that right hash mark, Colonels will go left to right here in the Apple Market third quarter. 34-0 Altavista lead.
And, you know, here on this first drive, we're seeing the starters still in the ball game. Thornhill quarterback, Dustin Brown lined up in the backfield. Malbeck and Jones out wide.
Juan resetting the play here. Looks like he's got a pair of tight ends and a pair of wideouts. Wideouts are Malbeck and Jones, like you said. And the 2 Johnson brothers are the tight end. 1 back beside him, that's Destin Brown. Here comes the shotgun snap. Chest high, he'll hand it to Destin. Destin looking off right tackle. Not a whole lot there. Good solo tackle. And then it turned into a 2-man tackle. Looked like Tyrell Staten on the stop. Short gain of a pickup of 2 or 3 yards for Destin Brown.
And I thought that we had made a determination that we were not going to call them the Johnson brothers anymore, that they were going to be referred to as the Brothers Johnson.
The Brothers Johnson. You're right. We did make that. You just got to stay patient with me.
That goes back past the 90s. That goes back to the 70s.
That's right. That's not in the 90s. That's in the 70s there with the Brothers Johnson. But you're right. The Darius and Demetrius Brothers Johnson can certainly make some sweet music of their own, especially when they lay those pads on an opposing ball carrier. They're on offense now. Juan Thornhill looking off left tackle, and he cut it back inside right over the center, Ken Brumfield. Decent pickup. O-line got a good surge to help him out, even though there wasn't much of a true hole there. He just managed to follow behind those guys for a while. It's going to set up 3rd and 1. Ball spotted on the 44-yard line. Colonels need to get it to the 45.
And nice job of Juan. The offensive line stayed engaged with their blocks and let Juan pick his hole. Had a couple of routes he could have gone. Nice pickup.
Shotgun formation again. 2 receivers to each side. They're split out wide. Destin Brown sharing the backfield with Juan Thornhill. Juan going to snap it kind of quick. Looked like Destin fidgeted a little bit. No flag on the play. He'll hand it to Destin Brown. Brown's got the first down a little more. Across the 50, now across the other 45. Solid run right there by Destin Brown, and a good hole opened up for him initially.
Yeah,
more than enough for the
like
first.
Destin flinched a little bit. I thought Juan might have been trying to get the hard count, and I think he fooled Destin on that play.
Yeah, I think Colonel's, not going to say they got away with one, but it certainly looked like Destin might have flinched and could have been flagged for an illegal procedure. 4-man defensive front for William Campbell. Juan Thornhill wants to pass. Navy Jones breaking deep. Thornhill had to run away from one sack. Got a lot of room. Long pass, right sideline. It's caught by Demetrius Johnson. He had to go upstairs. It'll be enough for a first down. 12-yard catch. Seemed like more than that because Juan really had to sling that thing about a full 20 yards to get the 12-yard pickup.
It was about a 30-yard pass. It was on a rope, though. Juan, here the last couple games, we talked about spinning the ball. He's starting to spin it better here as we get later into the season. A good sign for the Colonels.
Yeah, and like you said, maybe not a quarterback at the next level, but don't discount that just yet because Juan still is just a junior. He's got some time to develop and work on things. They didn't think Logan Thomas was going to be a quarterback either, and he's turned out okay. Well, that was a personal opinion there from Oscar. Empty backfield this time for Juan Thornhill. Going to swing it out. No, he's looking on the slant pattern to Darius Johnson. Darius couldn't hang on. Pressure was coming from the safety for William Campbell. That might have caused a little bit of that.
No, and I'm not going to discount Logan. I've got a personal opinion on Logan. I think he's done an adequate job at quarterback, but. And if I'm a GM in the NFL, I pick him in the first round, early to mid first round, and I put him in as a tight end because I think he can be an all NFL tight end.
He's certainly a workhorse, and he's got the frame for it. That's for sure. Thornhill setting the play now, right hash mark, 30-yard line, empty backfield. Again for the Altavista Colonels. 2 receivers to the left, 3 to the right. They fake it to Navy Jones on the wide receiver sweep. Juan lost his footing, dropped it the 30-yard line. Helped to the ground by number 52, Devontae Callaway, but Juan really just lost the footing right there. Callaway was in the right place at the right time. This will bring up 3rd and 10 for the Altavista Colonels.
And the Colonels have yet to punt tonight.
That's an interesting point that you brought up there. Altavista, 3rd and 10.
And they're in 4-down territory if they don't pick up the first down on this play.
I would think so. One tight end to Thornhill's left, and he's got Clydell Moon in the backfield to his left. Shotgun snaps, a perfect one. Juan surveying downfield, had some time. Now he's got to rush out. Bought some more time. Rushes on again, and he'll get dragged down 5 yards deep in the backfield. Good pressure from William Campbell. And, really that's a coverage sack because Juan had a lot of time initially to throw. There was nobody open. He had to hold on to the football. And good pressure on the second effort by the William Campbell D-line. 4th and 15.
He had a player open across the middle, but he was rolling hard left. The receiver was going back to the right. It would have been a heck of a throw, and I don't know if he's got that kind of contortionist body to be able to make that throw.
Yeah, that would have been tough. Good job by Juan, really, just to hold on to the football, in fact. Colonel's going to go for it here on 4th down. 4th and 15. Bunch formation to the right. 1 receiver to his left. Juan's going to roll to his right to throw. Looking downfield. He's got Michi in the middle. Ball was a little high, and it falls incomplete. Thornhill had Maul back initially, but the defense really did tighten up, and then the pass was a little high as well. Turnover on downs. Good stop by the Generals defense, and they'll take over on their own 35.
Yeah, sorry, Kyle. Michi was open running down the middle. Juan threw the ball. Looked like Michi might have cut his route off a little bit short. He really had to because of the defenders. Nice job by William Campbell on that play.
Yeah, good job by the Generals defense. They really got some pressure on Juan on the play before and then got some pressure there. Probably helped force the high pass a little bit. They'll take over on their own 34-yard line, far hash mark from us. Single wing formation. They fake it in the backfield. Tyrell Staten will keep it himself. 5-yard pickup gets it to the 40-yard line. 8 minutes to play here in the Apple Market third quarter. Colonel still leading 34-0. Got some updates from some other games. Appomattox up 21-0 down at Chatham. And that was a game, like we said, the Cavaliers really need to win if they want to get in the playoffs. I think they got an outside chance if they lose, but it's not very good.
Well, Chatham's been a second-half team. Even at 21-0, they're certainly not out of that ball game.
Single wing formation again. The football's on the ground again. Tyrell Staten had to scoop it up. He's trying to make the best of a bad situation. Not much there. They may give him forward progress back to the line of scrimmage. Nothing else. And probably a good job that he was able just to get that ball off the bounce and keep it going.
No gain, 3rd and 5 generals.
That's at least the fourth snap that they've had, Kyle, that he's had issues with, whether, not necessarily his fault, but...
Yeah, it's hard to say. With those split backs in that single wing offense, like I said, they can really snap it to either guy. And, it's hard to know who the snap was meant for.
Well, and if you're if you're the center for William Campbell, and you've got a load coming at you.
Yeah, that's a great point. Here comes the reverse play. William Campbell's looking for the first down. Not going to get there. Navy Jones on the tackle. Solo tackle. Got him up around the shoulder pads. Looks like Devin Barber on the carry, or was it Tevin Bradley on the carry? It was number 6, Bradley. Small gain, but he stopped a full 2.5 yards short of the first down. Let's see if William Campbell goes for it again. They trail 34-0 with 6.5 minutes here in the third.
Yeah, that looks like they are going to go for it, Kyle. Staten gathers troops.
Yeah, William Campbell is huddled up all game long, which is sort of a change for William Campbell fans. They're used to the no-huddle offense. Here comes the fourth down play. William Campbell taking their time. They're going to put a man back deep again. The snap is over his head. Looks like Staten back deep, and I don't think he recovered it. Let's see who's on it for the Colonels. It is Altavista football, and it's Clydell Moon on the recovery.
And it really didn't matter who recovered.
Well, true.
Down.
Yeah.
They tried that play earlier where they actually faked that punt. That time they were actually going to do a little quick kick type punt, and the snap was way over the head of Staten. Boy, Colonel's in business at the 20-yard line of William Campbell.
It was interesting the way the play's set up. They're in their normal formation with the split back. Staten takes off backwards. Like you said, they faked that play last time. This time they were actually going to try and snap it to him, and then we assumed he was going to kick it away. But the snap goes over his head. Doesn't matter. Clydell Moon picks it up, gives the Colonels outstanding field position again. They're on the William Campbell 20-yard line, right hash mark. Thornhill's got 2 receivers each side. He'll fake it to Destin Brown. He's going up the middle. Nice little hole there. Makes a man miss. Makes another man miss. He's brought down close to the goal line. We'll call it the 3-yard line. 17-yard pickup for Juan Thornhill. Weaving his way in and out of traffic. Had some good blocking on the left side of the O-line as well.
Boy, he did. And he had a couple of holes that I didn't think he was going to be able to get through. He turned, and he's just slippery. And I've heard you on several broadcasts call him Old Snake Eyes because wearing, of course, number 11. And the snake may be a good nickname for one.
Yeah, he can just slither in and out of those small holes that most guys, can't even see, let alone get through. 2 tight ends, as it looks like Thornhill's going to go under center for the Colonels. 3 backs in a straight line in the backfield. Looks like Brown, Moon, and Malback. They give it to Destin Brown. Brown's going to go right side, and he's in. Touchdown. He took some contact right at the goal line, but that didn't slow him down. Destin Brown's second TD of the night. William Campbell has a man down, injured on the field. This will postpone the Walker Allen kick for just a moment. Let's take a timeout right now, though. Well, let's keep it here. Oscar's shaking his head. I don't know. It's hard to say how bad this injury is.
No, he went down in a heap, and he immediately he grabbed a knee immediately. You could see that it was twisted in an odd angle as he tried to stop Destin. You don't want to speculate, but it didn't look good.
Yeah, hard to stop Destin when he's got a full head of steam going, and he did just that right there. Let's go ahead and take that timeout. We'll call this a 30-second timeout. Colonels lead 40-0. Extra point on the way with 5:26 to play here in the third on 105.5 KD Country.
A short drive will save you money.
That's right. A short drive can save you hundreds, maybe thousands. the absolute best selection of new and pre-owned vehicles to choose from. Have a trade? When you make a deal, Fellers Chevrolet will pay it off, no matter how much you owe. Slow credit? Don't worry. Drive away today in your new or pre-owned vehicle. Remember, if you didn't purchase your vehicle from Fellers Chevrolet, you paid too much for it.
Fellers Chevrolet
In Altavista. The following is brought to you by English Construction Company.
What do basketball, choir, drama club, and marching band all have in common? They're all high school activities that offer learning opportunities not necessarily found in the classroom. They take up just a fraction of a typical Virginia high school's budget, and they go a long way to giving young people the tools they need to thrive. High school activities, they're more than extracurricular. They're extra important, too.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
40-0. Colonels score on a Destin Brown 4-yard touchdown run. Small injury timeout, and that's been cleared up. Tevin Bradley was helped off the field. Hope he's okay, and we see him back again. Walker Allen on to try the extra point now. Thornhill will hold. Snap looks good. Hold looks good. Kick looks good as well right down Broadway. 41-0. Colonels lead. 5:26 to go in the third quarter. Back after a 30-second timeout on 105.5 KD Country.
Apple Auto Glass is your windshield repair and replacement center in Lynchburg. You get a free car wash with all windshields replaced in the shop. Apple Auto Glass wants the fans to enjoy the boys of fall this high school football season.
When I feel that chill, smell that fresh cut grass, I'm back in my helmet, cleats, and shoulder pad. Kings of the school, man, where the boys of fall.
Apple Auto Glass salutes the boys of fall.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
51 years of high school sports on KD Country, Oscar, and I dare say we've seen this many short drives in a season.
Yeah, that one was 2 plays, 20 yards, 27 seconds. So capitalizing on that fourth down miffed snap.
Yeah, set up by Clydell Moon, recovered the fumble on that. It's the third time the Colonels have recovered a fumble. Like you said, it's fourth down. It doesn't really matter if they recovered it or if Staten from William Campbell recovered it. They were going to get the ball right there. But, hey, why not? Clydell Moon gets another fumble recovery in the old stat sheet. Nothing wrong with that. And the Colonels get the great field position and proceed to capitalize very quickly.
And we will start the running clock. Anytime you get above 35-point lead in the second half, starts the running clock. Colonels up 41-0, 5:26 remaining here in the third quarter.
Colonels have scored early and scored often. They've done that quite a few times this year. But I tell you, we've seen our share of really good football games as well. High hanging kick by Walker Allen, going to drop right there on the 5 and get fielded by William Campbell. Good hard return there, and he's dropped in between the hash marks and the numbers on the far sideline. Whole team from Altavista in on that stop. Chancellor Mormon in on the stop on the special teams play there. Traquan Farmer as well. And the Generals will start from that far hash mark, 25-yard line. They've moved the ball, at times here, Oscar. They've struggled at times, but they have shown the ability to move the ball. They really have shown great prowess in the air attack. I mean, I don't know how many passes they've completed, but quite a few. Shotgun formation, single wing formation, unbalanced line, 2 split backs in the backfield. Spin move there by Tyrell Staten, and he's going nowhere. Met in the backfield by Casey McLeese and dropped in a hurry. McLeese just made his way through that O-line unblocked. Staten wasn't going anywhere once McLeese got the big paws on him.
No, and they've run that little spin play where the quarterback acts like he's going to pitch and does almost a 270 revolution spin, and you do that against this Colonel defense, and you're going to get in trouble.
Yeah, I agree. I don't really like having my back to those Colonel D linemen.
No, I mean, and what's more than that, the D lineman is one thing. You turn your back on Dustin Brown, Clydell Moon, Juan Thornhill, Michi Malbeck, you're going to get stung.
Yeah.
Donovan Montague, No way.
The brothers Johnson, yeah, you got to throw them in that group as well. Man in motion this time. They fake it to the man in motion. I believe it's Staten who kept it himself. Might have got back to the original line of scrimmage. Small gain right there. It's going to bring up third and at least 10 or maybe 11. 3:40 to play here in the Apple Market third quarter. Apple Market, a proud supporter of the Altavista Colonels and high school sports fans everywhere. 41-0, Colonels lead. Thornhill has thrown 2 touchdowns. Thornhill has thrown 3 touchdowns. It's run 1. Destin Brown has 2 rushing touchdowns. And Juan has thrown touchdowns to Darius Johnson, Canavis Jones, and Michi Malback. So he's really spread it around. Juan doesn't have a favorite receiver. His favorite receiver is the open receiver. Tyrell Staten wants to find a receiver. He's back to pass on 3rd and long. Nothing there. McLeese is in on it again. Darius Johnson in on it as well. Big-time sack. This is going to be a big loss. It'll take him all the way back to the 14-yard line.
Yeah, that's a loss of 11. It brings up 4th and a bus ride.
Yeah, 4th and long. Staten's going to have to make that long walk back to be the punt man, as he'll have to kick it away. Looks like it might be Navy Jones back there to return from the 40-yard line. Not quite sure. Go ahead.
And Kyle, William Campbell with minus 25 yards here in this quarter.
Not what you want to see if you're a Generals fan. Here comes the snap. Not a bad one. Staten's going to know he's not going to get it off. Blocked by Clydell Moon. Recovered by Donovan Montague. Montague in the end zone for 6. Oh, boy. Clydell Moon got in there in a hurry. Okay, it's going to be, I think they're going to call Donovan down right where he recovered it on the block.
I'm not sure of the rule on that.
I think the rule is because he caught it in the air. If it had gotten blocked in the ground, I don't know though. The Altavista sideline, their coaching staff isn't really happy with the rule.
I mean, it was tipped.
Yeah.
But I don't understand why he wouldn't be able to return it. I don't know why it was a dead ball, but that's that's my ignorance.
Well, we'll research the rule here. 2:10 to go. Colonels did not score a touchdown. They say the ball is dead right there where Donovan Montague recovered the block kick. 1st and 10. Colonels can get a first down on the 1-yard line. They'll go from the 11. Montague is in at quarterback. Here comes the snap. He'll give it to Clydell Moon. Moon's going to bust it out left sideline. Looking for the pylon, and he's in. Didn't even have to go full speed. Flag comes out there at the end. Maybe Donovan Montague might have held the football out in a way that could be considered taunting.
Clydell Moon did. He kind of held the ball out to the side.
It is going to be 6 points for the Altavista Colonels. 6 points for 6 points for Clydell Moon. Donovan Montague was in at quarterback. This is probably going to get tacked on to the end of the, it's probably going to get tacked on to the kickoff, I think. But I don't know. We've screwed up a few other rules tonight, so we'll see what they say. Got some people running off. And, it's not like the NFL or in college where they got the mic and they announce what happened. You got to rely on the signals, and sometimes the referees don't exactly give a ton of signals. Touchdown is good, so they do signal it. Give Clydell Moon credit for 6 more points. Unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on Altavista. And like I said, I think this will be assessed on the kickoff, not the extra point. I do see Walker Allen trotting out. Not that adding 15 yards would put him out of his range or anything, but I don't see them stepping off any yardage.
I think they give him the option of extra point or kickoff.
Colonel's getting some personnel straight. People shuffling in there. Navy Jones will come on to hold. Walker puts the kicking block down right at the middle of the field, 10-yard line. Takes his steps back. Colonel's lead, 47-0. Could be 48 if Walker converts this one here. First pass looks good. Navy had trouble getting on the block, actually. Walker pulled it left, and it is no good. So it'll stay 47-0. Colonels with the big lead. 1:53 to play here in the third quarter on 105.5 KD Country.
Stay cool in the summer and warm in the winter. Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling, on the ready to keep you comfortable year-round. Locally owned and operated, just a call away with over 20 years experience. Licensed and bonded, Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling, specializing in heating, air, plumbing, and electrical, any season, anytime. Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling, keeping you cool in the summer and warm in the winter. Give them a call today. Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling, Gretna.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Colonels lead 47-0. Clydell Moon getting in the end zone from 11 yards out. And it comes again off of a turnover, a blocked punt. Moon blocked the punt initially, and then Donovan Montague recovered it right there at the 11-yard line. Tried to race it in the house himself, but the Colonels just took an extra play, and they got in there anyway.
Another one of those one-play drives, 11 yards. Clydell. That's the fourth unsportsmanlike that the Colonels have had tonight through not even 3 full quarters. And Coach Sharness, as we move into the playoffs and you start to get a little bit more competition, they've got to eliminate those.
I concur. I mean, that's just something that good teams don't rack up a bunch of penalties. Like I said, nobody's going to play penalty-free every game. I mean, that's not realistic. But you can limit the penalties.
And you can limit. An offsides penalty, a holding penalty. I can accept those.
Yeah.
The unsportsmanlikes are they are certainly avoidable. That's all I'm going to say. They're avoidable.
No, you're right. 47-0. Colonels have avoided big-time mistakes. They lead by a large margin here. Walker Allen will have to kick this off from his own 25. Still a pretty decent kick. Looks like it's going to land on the William Campbell 32-yard line, fielded by one of the up guys. He'll race it up the middle there. Hit hard initially, still on his feet. Looked like number 20, Chancellor Mormon, in on the stop again. He got in on the last stop on the kickoff.
Yeah, it was Chancellor Mormon. And we've seen him in some of the situations this year where the Colonels have been able to get some extra players on the field. We've called his name often.
Yep, Daniel Dawson on the return. For the Generals, they'll have 1st and 10 from their own 44-yard line, far hash mark, 1:33 to play.
And we are seeing a mix of players in. Nelson Dew's in now. He usually takes Juan Thornhill's spot, but we're still seeing Michi, Malbeck, Dustin Brown, Clydell's still in, Navy Jones is in, Donovan Montague.
Snap goes to James Clement. And he'll try the right sideline. Decent pickup. Got around the first down marker, but he was short of it. Run out of bounds there by a whole host of Colonel defenders.
They are going to mark that at the 50-yard line. Gain of 6. Now we're seeing Montague and Clydell Moon come off. Michi Malbeck looks like he might be coming off as well.
Yeah, Jamal Thornhill in the game now at one of those cornerback spots. See Dustin Brown still on the field. See some other familiar faces still on the field. Misdirection play. Staten's going to keep it himself. He's got enough for a first down across the 45-yard line of Altavista, close to about the 41-yard line. So good carry there. Ty Woodruff checking in the game now for the Altavista Colonels. He's going to replace Dustin Brown. Stephen Farmer in on that defensive line. Actually, Stephen Farmer's in at linebacker. We've seen him play a lot of big-time snaps this year. He's been pressed into service and played pretty well.
14 seconds left here. This will be the last play of the third quarter.
Colonels lead 47-0. There's a direct snap going to James Clements. Clements running hard off right tackle, driving some guys with him. Good hard running from Clements. Looks like he's got enough for a first down. That will bring a close to the third quarter. One more quarter of play here from English Stadium. Colonels lead 47-0. Quick timeout on 105.5 KD Country.
Tonight's game is brought to you by these members of the KD Country Sports Club.
Steve Farmer Auto Sales, where there's always a good selection of cars, trucks, SUVs, priced right, financing available. Steve Farmer Auto Sales, 1112 Main Street.
Aubrey Rosser Law Firm, Altavista. First choice for any and all legal advice. Services go way beyond court trials and settlements.
Diane's Hair Creations in Altavista, creating hairstyles for every lifestyle. 283-1111. That's 283-1111.
El Cerrito, Altavista. Throw on a sombrero. Shake your maracas. It's El Cerrito time. Authentic Mexican cuisine only at El Cerrito.
Shop Main Street Trading Company, Altavista, where quality and affordability go hand in hand.
Sharky's Pest Control in Hurt. Let Tony take a bite out of your pest control needs. Doing business the old-fashioned way to keep you coming back.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
One more quarter of play here from English Stadium in Altavista. Colonels up 47-0, living large here, and a great way to go into the postseason. Colonels are going to finish the regular season 9-1. Probably their best regular season mark since the Well, since the 09 state championship team, Oscar.
Yeah,
I believe that team was 9-1 in the regular season,
That's
just a one loss to Gretna. Snap this time for William Campbell, charging ahead off right tackle. I think it's James Clement again. We'll wait and see once he gets up off the pile. Yeah, he does. Tackled by Chancellor Mormon. Also number 34, Traquan Farmer. And number 70, Tyler Kofer in there as well. General's going without a snap this time. Spinner play by Staten. Kofer's got his hands on him, wouldn't let him go. Then the rest of the team got in on as well. Thornhill there. Stephen Farmer there. Everybody really getting in on that one. This will bring up 3rd and 2. I mean, William Campbell goes with a small huddle here. It's not the traditional, 10 yards behind the ball huddle. They're about 4 or 5 yards back.
You talk about a small huddle. Does that mean that there are less people in it? Or?
I know, that was sort of a misleading adjective, wasn't it? People like Jim Nance never do stuff like that. 3rd down play. Staten going to go up the middle. Big push right there. Good surge by the William Campbell O-line. That was actually James Clements on the carry. That's more than enough for a first down. Nice surge up front on the short yardage play by William Campbell's offensive line. Fresh set of downs for them. They'll spot this right at the 20-yard line. Colonel's defense getting pressed into some serious action again, albeit with a different cast of characters, but they still want to preserve the shutout here, up 47-0.
Yeah, they do, but William Campbell's doing a nice job of moving the ball against the cast of characters that are out there for the Altavista.
Yeah, the real cast of characters up here in the press box. Staten's going to keep this one behind Clements, charging ahead, using a stiff arm right around the sideline as he is dropped by, let's see who that is. It looks like number 34, Traquan Farmer again. Nelson Dews was in the area. And it was actually James Clements on the carry. My apologies again. Clements and Staten are the two guys that really have been the split backs in the backfield most of the time. Not to say that they've only been the only ball carriers, but getting the bulk of the work back there for the Generals. Colonels still lead 47-0. Under 10 minutes to go in the game. Here comes the fake. Staten will keep this one himself. He is wrapped up and driven back. Guy that hadn't wrapped up was number 52, Stephen Farmer. Then the other boys for the Colonels got in on it. Ty Woodruff there.
Tackle made by number 52.
Dews there.
Stephen Farmer.
They're going to mark it at 14, loss of 1, and nice job, nice pursuit of the Colonels on that play.
Yeah, that was the old, they were faking that double handoff type of play where they hand it to the up back and then he pitches it backwards on the sweep. They faked that. Staten is out. Jamel Ashley in the backfield now with James Clements. Now he'll split out, it looks like. And they're trying to get the play straight. Ashley will go into a wing right there. Clements is the only setback now. They'll snap it to him. He's going right tackle. He's got a nice hole to run through. Across the 10, across the 5. He's close to the goal line, but stops short. Colonel saved the touchdown momentarily anyway.
First and goal, Generals.
He'll have first and goal from about the 1-yard line, I think, when this ball is spotted.
It is. If it's either at the 1, if not inside the 1.
Well, if the Colonels can preserve the shutout here, then that will be a feather in the cap for the defense. Looks like Staten's going to go right tackle. Diving in the end zone. Touchdown. William Campbell in on the board. It wasn't Staten. It was James Clements. Touchdown for William Campbell, though, is accurate. 47-6. Generals finally on the board here with 8:30 to play in the football game. Extra point on the other way. Or extra point on the way. Possibly a 2-point conversion maybe for William Campbell. Let's see.
6 William Campbell fans still in the stands for a while.
Generals are going to go for 2 here. They'll spot the ball in the middle of the field. See if they can get about 3 yards for an extra 2 points. They trail 47-6. 8.5 minutes to go. Same formation. It looked like somebody jumped for William Campbell. Flag does come out. Looked like the left tackle there. He's actually a tight end because he's the last man on the line of scrimmage over there to the left. But he's where a left tackle would be on a normal offense. So back William Campbell up. See if this changes their strategy a little bit or not.
Coach Sharness is able to get some players rested now.
Yeah.
Looks like we've come away relatively injury-free. Ashton Robinson hasn't been pressed into service tonight. Set out.
Spinner play again. Staten going to hand it off on the reverse. It looked like he might have given it to Jamel Ashley. Ashley did not get enough for the two-point conversion. Stopped short, so a good stand there after the touchdown by the Colonel defense. And we'll take a timeout with the Colonels leading big, 47-6. 8.5 minutes to go here on 105.5 KD Country.
Stay cool in the summer and warm in the winter. Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling, on the ready to keep you comfortable year-round. Locally owned and operated, just a call away with over 20 years experience. Licensed and bonded, Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling, specializing in heating, air, plumbing, and electrical, any season, anytime. Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling, keeping you cool in the summer and warm in the winter. Give them a call today. Tyree Little's Heating and Cooling, Gretna.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
47-6. Colonels lead. Touchdown there by James Clements. And the William Campbell Generals finally gets them on the board.
And
so the Colonels, go ahead, Oscar.
And again, Colonels, this game firmly in hand, 47-6. Don't forget, Colonels will be here at home, 7 o'clock next week. Don't know the opponent yet. That'll become clear. Maybe it probably won't become clear till Monday night or Tuesday morning as the VHSL goes through their ranking process and does their calculations with the power rankings and strength of schedule and all of that nonsense.
Yeah, it is a lot of strange computations and permutations and mathematicians involved, and I think they got to get I think they got to get one of those computers that takes up like a whole room like they used to have back in the 50s and the 60s just to pump out the info. But yeah, we will find out. High kickoff. And a fair catch will be called for. Smart play right there on the 35-yard line by 55, Wayne Short. I mean, that's a heady play, too, because Wayne Short's not a normal guy fielding a kick out there. And to call the fair catch on that high kick like that, pretty smart play.
Absolutely. And, Wayne's not a speed guy. He's not a hands guy. Nice decision, doing the fair catch. Had some people from William Campbell closing in on him and made sure that, Colonel's got good field position now.
Yep, they really do. 35-yard line, and this other group of offensive players will get a chance to work. But make no mistake about it, Donovan Montague, he might be the backup quarterback here, but he's a starter on a lot of other ball clubs.
Yeah, and you still got some offensive linemen out there, and Destin Brown in the backfield with him.
Destin Brown is a backup on nobody's ball club. He'll follow a pulling guard left side, finding not much room there as he stopped right at that line of scrimmage. Let's see if they give him any practice or any forward progress. Football came out, and Tyrell Staten comes away with it. He thinks he's got the fumble. Tough to convince the officials of that.
He doesn't. I wasn't convinced.
I wasn't convinced. If we had instant replay, you might be convinced, though. Colonels lead 47-6 in a very convincing victory. As now,
the Colonels came out very businesslike.
Yeah.
Executed extremely well on both sides of the ball, and took charge of this ball game and let William Campbell know early that it just wasn't going to happen for them tonight.
Yeah, definitely not a letdown from the big win last week. Montague in at the quarterback spot, chest high snap. He wanted to fake it. Now he'll keep it initially himself, or he'll keep it after the initial fake, I should say, across the 40-yard line. Let's talk about the opponent again next week a little bit. Like we said, not really going to know until it's all said and done and everybody plays and the computers pump out their formulas. But it's a chance it could be the William Campbell Generals again, and that's a tough assignment if you're Coach Ferris. I mean, you just played a team and lost to them pretty handedly. Hard to get you guys motivated to come out a week later and do the same thing. And maybe on the same side, probably hard for Coach Sharnes to get his guys motivated if you got to play William Campbell again. 47-6, 6:40 to play here in the Apple Market fourth quarter. Montague will fake it again, keep it himself, trying off right tackle. Not a whole lot there, but he did dive ahead for about 3. It's going to bring up 4th and 2. Wonder if Altavista will send the punt team back out or not. Never hurts to practice your punting, although you don't want to practice it in a close game, that's for sure. But at this point, it looks like Coach Sharnes is telling his offense to stay out on the field while he thinks of a 4th down play call.
Well, he's also got Walker Allen's out on the field. He's playing one of the wideout slots now as the brothers Johnson are out of the game. Ty Woodruff in it, one of the slot receivers that usually in a spot usually filled by Canavis Jones or Michi Malbeck.
Yep. 3 wide receivers to the left. Running back is also to Montague's left. This is 4th and 2 here for the Altavista Colonels, right at the 43-yard line. Shotgun snap is a good one. Montague going up the middle, nothing there. Dropped in the backfield. Good defensive stand by the William Campbell Generals, and they'll take over on the Altavista 43. 5:40 to play. William Campbell will get the football back, and you never know, that could be the last time we see the football in the hands of the Colonels.
Yeah, with the running clock, it's down to five and a half minutes left, and you're absolutely right. Could be the last time.
47-6. Not that it really matters if the Colonels get the ball back or not. Altavista shuffling some personnel in and out. Generals in their same formation. Here comes the double handoff and the pitch back. Going right sideline. Good stiff arm there. Knocked out of bounds. Finally was James Clements. Good hard running over there. Boy, Juan Thornhill liked it. He hopped over there and gave James a good pat on the helmet. And then also giving some love to number 24, Nelson Dews, on the good hit. Dews was the one that finally tracked him down over there on this near sideline.
They're going to mark that at the 32-yard line. First down, 11-yard pickup, Kyle.
Yeah, that was that funny little play where they snap it initially to one back. He runs up, hands it to the up back, who's really just a yard behind the line of scrimmage, and then the up back pitches it backwards to the other tailback. Probably doesn't make any sense when I talk about it on the radio, but might not even make sense when you see it happen in concert here at English Stadium. Driving ahead, this looks like Tyrell Staten. Pickup of about 6 or 7. 4:17 to play.
And Campbell having a lot of success against this Colonel defense.
Yeah.
Second team Colonel defense. But hey, William Campbell's playing who they have to play right now, and they're doing a good job of controlling the line of scrimmage right now.
That's exactly right. You play with the hand you're dealt. James Clements will be the lone step back now for the Generals. They'll split Staten out wide. Everybody else stays the same formation-wise. Here's the snap. Clements going right side. Got a good surge up front. He's crossed the 20, now across the 18-yard line. They'll spot it on about the 17. First down yardage. You know, this single-wing offense, Oscar, is something that Giles High School is famous for. You know, they've run this for years and really given all their opponents headaches for years. Gretna had to play them in the playoffs one year in their march to a state championship. William Campbell's played them a few times. It's a fun offense to watch when you don't have to defend against it. Appomattox ran it a few years back when they had Kenny Scott there. Handoff this time goes to 22, and that is Jamil Ashley. Not much gain there on the inside reverse play.
You know, I was getting ready to make a point that really it's going to be a moot point, but with 3 minutes remaining, if William Campbell was able to score, it would take and convert the extra point. It would take the running clock away.
It is an interesting point. 2:45 to play in the football game. Subway post-game show on the way. Don't miss that. Players the game, housekeeping items, get you some updates from one or two other games that might be important to some fans of ours. They fake the handoff, spins it around his back. That's Tyrell Staten looking for some room. Football's out. Let's see who recovers. It looked like number 52, Stephen Farmer, jumped on it first. Let's see what the final verdict is. Altavista football. Farmer recovers right there on the goal line. Colonels may have to snap this ball from the 1-yard line, but it will be Colonel football nonetheless after the fumble by Tyrell Staten and the recovery by Stephen Farmer.
Yeah, nice job by Farmer falling on that ball. There were a couple of William Campbell players in that area.
They'll actually spot it on the 2-yard line. So Altavista's got a little bit of breathing room, although they are in the proverbial shadows of their own goalpost. Let's see if Montague goes under center and just runs a sneak to give him a little bit more breathing room. Might even have room to take the knee. No, they're going to go from the shotgun. 2:07 to play. Probably be under 2 minutes when the ball is finally snapped. Now Donovan Montague does line up under center. Let's see what he decides to do here. He will just sneak it ahead. Good pickup initially. About a 2 or 3 yard gain. And that'll be more than enough breathing room now, I think, to take a knee, and that will just run out the clock. 1:45 to play now in the football game. Traquan Farmer jogging off.
Ended up marking that at the 5-yard line. Nice little power run by Donovan.
Yeah, like we said, I mean, Donovan is he's nobody's backup. He can play a really good quarterback, and we've seen him play a really good linebacker out there for the Colonels all year long. He's in shotgun formation again, letting the clock run down, waiting for a signal from the coaching staff as to when the play clock gets too low. I'm shocked we're still not bringing up the fact that Galax had the play clock every week. We went about 4 weeks in a row where we brought that up every other game. He'll hand it off. Running back going right tackle. Looked like Chancellor Mormon on the carry, if you ask me. We'll wait and see when he gets unpiled. Got to wait and see when he gets unpiled there. It was number 20, Chancellor Mormon. The 5'8", 155-pound freshman. And boy, senior night, Oscar. Let's talk about the seniors again. Number 12, Ashton Robinson. He's a guy that's been a 3-year starter for Mike Sharness' squad. He's playing that guard. He's normally the pulling guard on a lot of those running plays, and he really can get out and run for a big guy. Matt Lane is another guy that Coach Sharness talked about. Really has started a bunch of games over the past couple years. Although he hadn't, traditionally been a starter, he's jumped in there and done great without missing a beat. Zach Parker the same way. All three of those guys have played some quality time on the D-line. And then the two really big guys, Clay Teagard and Casey McLeese, they've been 2-year starters, 3-year starters as well. Guys, the Colonels really couldn't do without. So that's just 5 seniors for the Colonels, Oscar, but they're all 5 linemen. So that'll certainly have an effect, an impact later. There's the final horn. Colonels do win 47-6. Subway postgame show on the way. We'll talk about the seniors, talk about what happened, and talk about what will happen next week. All that and more when we come back. Colonels win 47-6 on 105.5 KD Country.